afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, whatever time of day. The circus, again, it happens to be Sunday because that's when the show happens. Oh, Loki's wait next, but let me give it a hot second. Let me make sure we're live on the Roombles. Hopefully, refresh. All right. I hope folks are having.
Sorry.
Okay. Wait, I'm volume. We're live on the infowebs. Loki, do you want a snacky? Or we should wait a couple seconds. I don't think we've reached quorum yet. We don't have a quorum. So we'll let everybody come in. I've got water in my giant sippy cup over there.
Yay for sippy cups.
I know. I like me a straw. And where am I? It's been such a crazy week with making the house, putting everything so it looks like it's got the lipstick pig is all pretty.
Oh,
the little man had his procedure this week, which was, he did swimmingly, but he's in his collar until a week from Tuesday.
Aww, collars are necessary, but they're funny looking.
They are. He does not love it, but such as the things, because he's got extra stitches, because he's got stitches in his belly, because they had to go in and find his little micro testicle up by his kidney. So that was a good time. Loki, do you want a snacky? Here, jump up on here and be cute. Come on. Ow! Don't bite me. I know, I keep moving stuff around. Hey, Miss Joyful Joy.
Hey, Joy.
Little man, do you want some snackies? Oh!
Hey, Alibaba.
Hey, Allie. Yeah, let's see if we can get, let me see how to rearrange Cat so we can...
I'm in full sewing Lebowski mode today.
Okay. Come on, little man.
Can my movie be called half-size Lebowski instead of the big Lebowski?
Pint size? You could be pint sized.
Well, I'm 5'9". I'm at the average height.
Yeah, you're not pint sized, right?
Yeah. Hi, Joy. Hello.
Little man, you're not in the front of the camera. Can you come here?
That's really weird.
Oh.
I bet you'll pop right up.
Hey, brothers and food. Okay.
Oh, that's weird. Well, now you have 72.
Okay. I know! I'm so excited. I'm up to 72 on the YouTubes, 42 on the Rumbles, 3,000 watch hours on the YouTubes. No, 3,000 views and 1,500 watch hours.
For some reason, you're unsubscribed on my not so secret other phone.
Oh no!
But maybe YouTube does that.
A couple of weeks ago, I randomly lost a whole bunch of followers, and Freya Froofers, you want some snackies too? Careful, little man. Here, okay. I'm gonna create a riot. Okay, here, come here, and then I'll put you back down.
Eventually, when I find my scraps, I'm thinking about making a headband or something exciting this evening.
My Wi-Fi just got boosted. Sweet, I'll take it. The magic of cats. Because I'm not plugged in tonight. I'm in a completely... He is a good kitty. Can you show your face to the camera? I'm so cute. Okay, do you want to get down now? Okay, let me... You have to put your feet down. He's so ungraceful, and it's almost like he was separated from his mama too early, because he's got these weird primitive sucky, likes to suck on your finger reflexes that are just odd to me.
Odin was like that at first. She didn't know how to meow.
Oh,
she's been by herself her entire life.
Poor baby. Yes, yeah. I got the boost of the kitty, but
So last night, a skunk got stuck under my fence. I have like a giant security fence made of wood, and it's attached to the house, so it's solid. And like that fence is immovable, and it's 9 feet high because I live in LA.
Yeah.
And long story short, a skunk. I cut a piece so the animals can get underneath, and the big giant skunk got caught underneath, sprayed the fence. It was so
Oh
thick. It was so thick in here. My eyes were watering.
no. Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
I went out. My neighbor was out there, so I had to open the door. And I opened the door, and I when I was breathing, I could feel it burning my lungs.
oh no. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's no good.
skunks are hardcore. Skunks are hardcore.
They are. I know this week was so crazy. So then on Wednesday, when everything kind of the dust was settling, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the Goodwill because I need some retail therapy. So I got a couple of things. Oh, what am I dropping? Oh, stuff. So we have this
Ooh.
blue flower, like, oh, looks like a block print. It feels like cotton. I don't know, like maybe 4 yards over there. Some not exciting muslin because I actually didn't have any, and everything was like less than $6, and this is a whole bunch
Oh,
of
that's
yardage.
awesome. I
And
love
then my,
West.
I know, my favorite is this like shirting weight cotton with the stripes.
Ooh,
So
I
I
like
think I think I need to make a shirt because I have skirts, I have underwear, I need some like other day clothes. Okay, there's and the little man sitting next to my feet. And I've got to finish this silk skirt. I didn't like the neck on my short dress, so I've done some bias binding. Oh, can I see myself? No, and then I've just got all sorts of stuff that needs to get finished. So, and then what dropped was a spool of this. I can just pick up the one I
Oh, that's
drew.
awesome.
In coordinated sequin on a string because I thought that wouldn't it be cute to have some gold sequins where the ruffles attached to hide all the stitching? Because why not? Oh, Pepe is a cute. Pepe Le Pew. Got a need for a little kitty. Oh, the tomato scent threw him off. Oh, that's funny.
It was crazy. It was crazy last night. But that's pretty much the most excitement we get around here in the suburbs, besides messing with each other.
That's fair, because it's been crazy. I know, Brunhild, I don't know where to put her, because it was different when I was streaming, and there was no one else home on Sundays, but now that's not the case, so I don't know, like, I just keep moving rooms, but I like to stand when I sew with this machine, and I don't know.
You know what though? Eventually you'll find your place. Trust me, like my entire life, I thought it was a phase when I was a kid, but I'm a rearranger.
Yeah,
Like I rearranged my bedroom. I finally completely redid my closet. Like I'm a constantly moving around in here. So I get it.
right, and just, oh, this skirt is so heavy, I keep rearranging where it's sitting so it doesn't fall.
I saw your floofy. Oh, actually, I have a few questions. So
Okay,
what's up with the title, the UFOs? Let's talk about some.
unfinished objects. This is oh, but we
Oh, I
could
thought
talk
you were
about
talking
that
about
too.
the.
Those weird little like aliens that were those Mexican aliens really cake from Peru. Like, what's the whole thing? Tell me more.
I go by the Neil deGrasse Tyson scale. Like, I don't want to meet those aliens. I don't want to meet the rubbish
No,
aliens. I want to meet the ones that like can land and
right?
communicate.
Come on,
But
little
are
man.
those aliens, or were they just something that someone didn't find?
Right. I think that this person has been accused of hoaxes in the past, and then I saw a picture that somebody was like cutting it like it was cake, and I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's
You
false
know what?
on that story.
Honestly, the lady with the brick in the face, like that thing's come out to be a complete hoax. I don't even know what's real anymore. on the internet. Like
Oh,
I've
right.
taken some time. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. Time out. I'm done with all of you guys. Like that entire thing was staged, you know? So
Yeah,
strange times we live in. That's why I'd rather sew. I'm gonna go get my sequins. That's why I'd rather sew.
right. Yeah, and I of course I like pin all this down. Don't it starts off all right, and then I go through and like unpin it because somehow it's not right. So I always try to make sure to not at the end before I've finished attaching it, just in case you need this extra some odd inches. You cannot eat cords, little man. Why don't you just come sit on this chair next to me? Can you?
That's a
Can you?
phase. That is literally that's like a phase that all young animals go through.
Here, sit on this chair and be cute. See, isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? Look at your cute little face. Okay, now I'm gonna. You saw sewing last week. He's been so good. The other cats, hardly any fights, except for the day I took him onto the vet on Tuesday. No, the night before. Um, I pulled a claw out of the side of him, so he got into a tussle with somebody.
Oh,
They,
hard knock life. It is.
yeah.
Now he's officially singing Annie.
Oh, oh, maybe I'm the alien saved from extinction 200,000 years ago and brought up to speed to mend my Neanderthal ways into modern science society. Oh, Elliot, you are adorable. What are
La-
you? Okay.
Last night I said Alibaba and I are from the same spaceship because we do think very much alike, and I am a bit Neanderthalish myself.
Right.
in a gentleman way, where my ways are, I because I'm old school, like I still say please and thank you. I've been having issue
Yep.
lately. Um, I say may I please when I order food, or if I'm, and during certain things. It's
Right.
just the way I was
Yes.
raised.
Yep. Oh, you're trying to help yourself into the snack sack. You're gonna have okay, two more snacks, but you're gonna have dinner pretty soon here.
And someone recently told me it was like a kid was like, "Oh, you're way too polite," and I was like,
There's no such thing.
"I say no, thank you," or like, okay, and it's just weird to me. Can't get more old school than so true,
No. Here.
so true. It's just weird to me because I have a weird etiquette and people are just not necessarily polite anymore. And I'm teaching my son because he's watching through example of his
Right.
father being like, please and thank you, excuse me. Oh no, it's my
Right.
fault. Like,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me if I give someone a flat tire. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Right. Pardon me.
I'm a morning and evening shopper and I've been going out. Yesterday I went to Marshall's and I didn't have an anxiety attack. But I
Hmm.
walked into Marshall's and I've been watching a lot of stuff about fast fashion.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go take a look for myself because I do find the same stuff in thrift stores for
Right.
$2 or $3 that they have at Marshall's for 15.
Oh, that's weird.
And like with the new over mass production of shoes, like
Hmm.
I can get fake hiking boots for $10 now, you know? So
Yeah.
I was going there looking for cheap shoes. I walked in, there was over 30 people in the line.
Oh no.
I just did a big circle and I went to Ross.
Right. You're like, and I'm done.
But to me, they're the same shop. They're just all overflow, you know?
Right. Right. Them big lots. TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls.
They are literally born because we are like over consumers, you know?
Yep. I don't think there's any more snackies on the table, kid. These are pins. You can't. You don't. Can't, no, those are not cat toys. All right, this show's being stolen today.
That's okay. We
The
need
show
a
brought to
kitty
you by
day.
cats.
We need a kitty day. Here, let me get my cat patch. We need a kitty day every once in a
Yes,
while.
we are. Can I get both of them in the shot here?
I'm in my bathrobe. It's a cat patch kind of day.
I got dressed up. I even put my face on.
Oh,
Oh
I
yes, he
have this
is a
cat
little
patch too.
sneaky. The cat's trying to get a nice signal. He is definitely looking around. We've not sewed here, so he doesn't he doesn't know what's
Aw.
going on. Because he's still new. Oh, he just loves to be petted. He's not a lap sleeper yet, unless you've got food in your lap, in which case he's like, "Can I lick that bowl, please? Can you share some with me?"
That's so funny.
Loki. I know.
The only time I ever lived, my ex-wife and I lived with her mother and her stepfather for a while, and her mom had 7 cats, and we brought a dog in the house.
Oh.
And Lulu was a Chihuahua, so she was almost the same size as the cats. We're like,
Yep.
oh no, and they were declawed, so they were just boxing. I was like, bap, 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 bap. They were
That's
just boxing.
terrible. That's so mean to do to a cat.
What Melissa was old school. They were all house cats, and Spiky was my friend. If you sat on the couch and you smoked cigarettes, Spiky would get in your face because Spiky loved nicotine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that cat was crazy because they lived in a smoker house.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't I didn't last living in that house very long. They smoked in that house for
Yeah.
20-something years.
Right. So there was no changing them, but you were like, I can't have asthma attacks like this all the time.
Well, the kid was born, and I was like, well, we cannot have a child.
That was good while it lasted, right?
It was cool though. We moved up north. I mean, to Central California. You have to know, I live so far south. Anything like
I know you live in Mexico. You might as well just be like, I'm into the.
Do you know what's funny? Vegas and Mexico and Arizona are weirdly 3 hours to 4 hours from my house, respectively.
Yeah, that's not that far, right?
All 3 of them.
Do you like those roof holes?
What's that?
Oh, is that?
Oh, that's my fancy washing machine.
Okay, I was like, I'm trying these new wireless headsets, and I'm not sure if that's my sign saying that my headset's gonna die in a second here.
No, that's my fancy washing machine that's dying, and I'm gonna go buy it. See, that goes back to what I was saying about fast fashion and just waste in general. Like, I've only had that. Like, Isaiah was in elementary school when I got that. He was a little guy. He needed a stool to look in it.
Right.
And it couldn't be like 9 years, couldn't be older than 9 years, and I'm gonna have to get rid of it because we live in a world where things are made to break.
Yeah, I don't like that. You're dangerous, cat.
And washers are cheap. And I'll get there and I have a Lowe's account and they'll give me some crazy deal. Like I saw one for $300-something bucks.
Oh, the needle, the thread tensioner is getting caught in his cone. It's just flapping up and down. All right,
I love his little cone. Oh, I love his little cone.
Why don't you be a cutie right here and stay away from my pins?
I don't know what to do with my butterfly patch.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked. I have so many patches.
I know you've been going crazy.
But I didn't go to downtown.
The deal is good, right? You needed a break.
I broke my streak. The circle is finally broken. It feels good though. I slept in. I got to loaf around. Like it felt good.
Well, that is good, and you got so much. Now it's time to use what is coming to the horde.
Exactly, and the turtleneck was kind of like I'm so glad I made that thing.
Yep, it'll be perfect in the autumn time.
And it's so thick, I didn't have to line it. Like if I was to make pants with it or something, I would line it, but it's thick.
I can't imagine lining a stretch fit. I don't know.
See, that's what I thought. Like I just didn't. It reminded me of like a wannabe cardigan or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like our cardigans lined.
Right? No, they're not.
That's what I'm saying. It's certain materials are so thick, and I've learned that. I have coats that weigh like 8 or 9, they weigh like 10 pounds. They're so heavy, like I gained weight when I put them on because I thought you had to line everything.
Yeah, no, you don't. You did, Ellie. Absolutely. The thread uptake lever was completely like click, 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 click into the cone. Ugh. He is such a goofball.
But this is the beautiful thing about learning. Like I have this blanket material, but it's really thin.
Yeah.
I would have to line that.
It
And
depends on what. It depends.
it's really well, you're right. You're right. Like if I was gonna make like a shawl or a scarf or
You're
something, I would just
right. It's not like you're gonna just be wearing that next to your skin.
that's true. I still what's so funny? I bought yellow at the same store and they're two different colors.
Yeah, it happens. You gotta look at the dye lot.
And well, sometimes I think I'm just like colorblind by like that much. Like I'm off by like that much sometimes.
That's when you bring a swatch.
But I was thinking if I went to the same store, I would
No, don't. No, you never.
it would
Never
be the
make that
same
assumption.
roll. Oh, have you seen this? Isaiah found this.
Adorable. Oh, I think you did show me that one. I still like it though.
It's going on my tough guy. This is going on my tough guy vest. I need to like distinguish one vest I'm gonna wear to like conventions and stuff because I have to pick one that doesn't have a bunch of FUs on it.
That seems like a reasonable approach.
Well, the problem is it rarely happens, but I wanted to buy. I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, it's almost like a metallic fabric. It's really
Mhm.
shiny. It's thick, but it's like shiny.
Oh, you mean like lame?
It might be lame because sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm like, I want 9 yards of that, and I can't name it. But it's like, and it's shiny, and it like so. When I bought my sequins, I saw it in the store, and I know it's not the only place. But I walked back in with Isaiah, and the guy saw me, and he ignored me.
How dare they not want to take your money?
Whatever, you don't like whatever. I'm not trying to say that I'm like anybody, but I am guaranteed money when it comes to fabric.
Like you made a bad choice, kid.
And I had a giant wad of cash in my pocket because I wanted that, and I knew he was going to be like $14 a yard, and then I was going to be like, okay, give me 9 yards. But he wouldn't even speak to me, and I looked at my son. I was like, okay, let's go across the street. I took him
Oh,
to another pad shop. He went crazy, and then we left.
yeah.
He loves
Oh,
downtown now.
yeah. Right. You got him hooked.
Well, he like because the COVID's high right now in LA, it's
Yeah.
to mask or not to mask, and like
Right.
oh, so Isaiah got my ex-wife bought Isaiah an iPhone.
Oh.
Last night when he gets home, I'm a life 360 right bleh, I'm gonna life 360 his phone.
Yep.
But also like I jokingly would always tell him like, well, if you ever get a phone, you have to call me all the time. And
Right.
if I ever call you, you have to pick up. He called me last night and he's like, I'm going to the movies. And I'm like, bro, you don't have to call me every time. He's like, well, you said I have to call you every time. And I'm like, well, as long as you well, I was like, well, I like
Right.
that.
Don't. Yeah. Just stick. Say what you say and mean it.
But and then he was sharing his location with me everywhere he went. It just made me want to cry. I don't know how I feel with him having a cell phone though.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, like okay, for a long time I wouldn't let him go on Twitter, and I finally was like, you know what? Like he'll get burnt out. He was on Twitter for like 4 or 5 days, and he's like, man, Twitter is overwhelming. And I said, I know, I know. And so he really well, I know because I'm all up in his business and I have control of all of his accounts. He really hasn't logged in or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of worked. He's not on TikTok. He hates TikTok.
Yeah. That's
So
good.
I think my evil plans work. So we'll see. He's a good kid
Right.
compared. Like when I was his age, like I was a bit of a pirate. Like he's a really good kid.
Well, yeah, and when we were that age, the world was a different place.
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have
No,
information.
we didn't. We barely had
We
computers.
we actually had to go like find out about things.
Right? He had to go outside. Can't see that.
He looks at me like I'm crazy when I'm like, dude, let's go outside. Come on, let's go for a walk. He's like, what? There's a rule. The only rule is you're not allowed to be pale in my house. We live in a place where it's certain times of year I'm pale. I get it.
Right. It's called winter.
Yeah.
It gets cold.
I lose a couple shades. I get it. I'm activated by the sun myself. Where are my other patches?
Oh, but I did clean out that other machine, so we'll see. I didn't see a lot of goop in there, but hopefully it'll sound better because I guess I'll be relegated to the other room next week. Let's see here. Judging by what we have heard with the Oculus, you need to be on the VR set for that iPhone. Yeah, seriously.
And that's it's no secret that Isaiah got a lifetime ban on the PlayStation Network, and I freaked out on him. So he learned a lesson. I was like, dude, like now we just have like a $500 paperweight.
Right.
And you know what? He plays it every once in a while, but it's like because he can't get online with it.
Right. That's I don't know, because all of these games and things that are doing that with these like moving goalposts of like what's considered not nice conduct and different things, or the games that little kids, teenagers, and little kids shouldn't be on. It shouldn't matter how much cursing an adult says.
They clash. The problem is also a lot of these companies are ran by people in different countries, so their ideal of decency is
Right,
different.
it's not the same. Yeah.
We grow up, we teach children freedom of speech. So what are they going to say when they say something crazy? Like, well, you taught me freedom of speech.
Right.
And so it clashes with guidelines and bylines when people, they try to have rules for everyone around the world. And I'm talking about the PlayStation Network. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm not trying to get too political, but because it's ran in multiple countries, they have a little bit more of a decency clause than anything American would ever have. And so he said something crazy in a game, and it was a game called Dreams where it was your own server. You could literally make anything you want, but apparently they're watching you.
Right. Well, I've heard the same thing with Microsoft, like the Office suite. If they don't like what they can, if you have documents saved in the cloud and it has content that they don't like, they'll like go in and surreptitiously re-edit your work for you and different things. I was like, no. Or get locked out of your account. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Like,
that's literally what they
use.
They banned the VPN. They banned the VPN because each PlayStation has its own VPN or whatever. Whatever allows it to be identified.
Yeah.
And that particular PlayStation will never be able to, because I've tried to log in with different accounts and they're like, this VPN is banned.
Or IP address or something.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
Some techie thing that I don't get. Where are you going?
I tried to log in because I used a really old email and I tried to use a different email and they were like, nice try. We're smarter than you.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
So he's learned in a way, but VR, the Oculus is Wild Wild West. It's Mad Max.
Yeah.
I've heard people say crazy stuff, so they have different laws. Like it, you know what I'm saying? They each company has different bylaws and different standards of decency.
Right.
My real beef the whole reason I'm sitting here stammering and talking about it is because I want the 1,000 something back from Fortnite.
Right, that you paid. Right.
Like y'all stuck me for like 1,500. I have receipts.
Right.
I, the cat is comfortable around you after the vet visit.
Yeah, he got home, he ran around because I couldn't get him to sit still, and then he took a nice long nap, and now he's just like, and I have food, and I have fighty time. He's still learning that it's nice to sleep on silk. I was cutting something yesterday, and he didn't like the sound of me like shaking the silk to like try to lay it flat on the floor. Like, the property guy came and was trying to fix the outside, the light on the front of the house, and he just let strangers pet him. He was like, "Sure, I'm just gonna hang out." I'm like, "Okay, you're a different cat." He loves people. He loves his harness. Let's see, needs to be around to feel better. Yes. Well, it just makes sense because all the other cats are codependent. So now he's sitting on the floor right in front of me at the stair, just like, hey. Oh, he's such a goofball. He loves sleeping on top of the other sewing machine because my electric weight that I need to still haven't replaced the cord on. When all these people were going to be in the house, I was like, I should just make you into a table right now because I can't deal with you right now. And he likes to sit up there to look out the window. I should just stop being scared of that project and just do it. What's a little electricity between friends?
That's my middle name. Is like, let's just start this project and figure out how to finish it later.
Right. I'm still in the needing to. I wonder if I just need to lay it on its side so I can try to figure out how to unscrew. Why did they put the screws with only a inch and a half clearance that I can't get a tool in there? But we'll figure it out. But I hope everybody's had a good week. I know I haven't, oh my God, half hour in. There's no advice, medical, legal, anything. We just have fun here at the circus and talk trash about sewing and just try to just chit chat and have fun. But there were so many weird things this week, like with those floods from the dams breaking in Libya and the huge earthquake in Morocco. It's been a little cray-cray.
The earthquake is the one that scares me the most. Because that could happen around here.
It can, but it sounds like the people have been complaining about the dams for a long time, that they were looking like they were going to fail, and they were just like, yeah, we don't care to fix you. He's chasing a fly. Wow, he's like, I should try not to be so jumpy. Everything's fine, other than today's Sunday, which means tomorrow's Monday and like work. But
do you know I'm finally gonna add flowers on this vet? I love these patch flowers.
Cute.
They're made from all recycled materials. I ask a lot of questions at the patch shop.
As one should.
Well, they like, the building is huge, and all the times I've been there, I didn't look up. I looked up, and they literally have a second floor up there.
Oh no, man.
Like, the people don't have access to it, but that's where they keep all their machines, where they make everything.
Right, because it's a hazard up there, and it's noisy. Oh, that's what I thought. The dams breaking have been like 15 years in the making. All right, you be safe, BRBs. I thought you caught that fly. Didn't you catch the fly? Okay. Back to sewing, because then I'm going to put in a French seam, leave a gap, figure out what I'm going to do for a waistband, and then maybe put in some... I don't know. I like start stuff, and I'm like, I'll figure out how I'm going to finish it when I'm in the middle. When I get closer to that point.
Oh, that's my middle name. Over ambitious projects. That's why I call everything. Because I'm like, I started another one. like this. I'm gonna add the flowers around.
So cute. Oh, that'll be so sweet.
I have a bunch, so we'll see how it looks. But I'm gonna start with 4 because these ones, I didn't go in the back and I bought these,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like, these are awesome. So I might put these on top.
Oh, that'll be nice.
We'll
Yeah, more.
see.
Just do more. You're just gonna throw the whole rose garden bouquet at it.
We'll see how it looks. But I don't want to mess up my wings either, though. So we'll see how it looks. Now that I think about it, my
We'll
wings are
just pin
there.
them and hold it up, and then see.
Okay, that in. There you go. That can fit in there.
Okay.
My wings were part of it was from watching way too much Walking Dead. Still to this day in my life, it is the only show to ever give me nightmares.
I never got into it. I don't know. One of my siblings read the graphic novels and then watched it, and liked it better. I
They
don't
were
know.
not they didn't stay true to the comic book because a lot of characters would not have made it to certain seasons. So they
Right.
changed it because I also read the graphic novel, which was like hardcore compared to
Yeah.
the show.
Well, usually it seems like every time they need to make something for TV, they have to like PC it or do something to.
Oh my gosh, the original was like
What?
this stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, you big talker. Hmm, it's okay. You can come hang out. Everybody else does.
No, that's perfect. Actually, I'm not trying to. There we go.
Dark was pretty good. All 3 seasons.
What is that? Was that on a streaming service?
It's on Netflix. It is
Awesome.
a German show, some time travel, some nuclear disaster, a little bit of everything.
How do you think that looks so far?
Oh, I like it. I think does it need are you going to maybe 2 more, one in each of the corners like on the inside border?
I was gonna put these ones
Put those
because
yeah.
there we go. I was gonna put them almost upside down. We'll
Mhm.
see. We'll see how they look. Oh, decision. May this be the hardest decision I have to make today.
Right. Yes, please. I know yesterday was when into we took a little drive and went to a thrift store that's got this cute makeup vanity station with a giant mirror, nice drawers, and I was just like hemming and hawing. So I didn't get it, but then we went to the Indian buffet. Oh, it was worth it just to go eat food.
I know we have really good Indian food around here as well. It makes it worth the trip. Even like there's a restaurant, I believe it's on the 99. Do not quote me. It is out in the middle of nowhere. You're on the highway and then you see a sign that says Indian restaurant. And for all the years of driving past it, I stopped one time and it was the best ever. And it's out in the middle of nowhere on the 99 in California. I mean, like in real life cow country.
Yeah,
Because that's what most of Central California
right.
is
As
just
long as
cow
there's
country.
water, there's yep. Okay. I know. Wished I'd so I it was so busy. I'm always like envious of your productiveness, but then I'm like, you've just got one kid who's easy. I've got an adult, and sometimes they take more time. We have to spend together.
My kid, he's self sufficient. He tells me to kick rocks.
Right.
I have to find hobbies and things to do because he's growing up, and I have to let him.
It's not right. Fair.
It's not
Right.
easy.
Yeah. We get roped into going to the neighbors and hanging out. We watched another cute movie from this was from Canada. What was it? Hansla something. I'm gonna forget about this Sikh man raising his son by himself. It was cute
Oh.
in his search for a new mother for his son.
I watched this comedian in the UK, and she's Southeast Asian, and she says that when her son reached a certain age, she could no longer communicate with him because he was saying like, "What's up, bruh? What's going on?" Like she went in, and it's hilarious. She's like, "What language is that? Why is he speaking to me like this? Does he know I'm his mother?" Like, oh, I was on the floor dying. But they live in London, and he's a modern kid.
Right.
So he's saying like, "What's up, dog?" And she's like, "I am not a dog. I am not a dog." Like, oh, I was on the floor. When she said that. Oh, what is her name? I would like. I've been watching a lot of comedy lately because I need some comedy in my life.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why this thing is still floating around. So I made this almost 3 or 4 years ago. I wear this under my cowboy hat. This is one of my
Mm-hmm.
masks.
Yeah.
But it's annoying because the Velcro gets stuck everywhere. So I don't know where to
Yeah.
house this thing because no matter where I put it, it gets stuck on things.
Right. It's gonna get yucky.
I was walking the other day and I'm like, this feels awkward. This was stuck to the back of my shirt.
Oh no.
And I'm like trudging down the hallway and I'm like, something doesn't feel right.
Something's touching me.
You ever have that like off feeling, like
Yeah.
I did something. And I need more rest and I'm like looking at my face. I eat a lot of things that I shouldn't and they take their toll on me.
Yeah.
Like this week, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not supposed to I cannot necessarily partake in like ice cream and things like that anymore because of my lung
Right.
issue. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a milkshake because there's chocolate ice cream in my freezer." And then I couldn't breathe the next day. And then my ex-wife calls me and tells me someone that I hang out with got COVID.
Oh no.
And then I'm like, oh, total hypo in my house. Like,
Right. As
and
if I didn't need any more reasons to hide. Thank you.
we're sitting on COVID tests because of my job.
Right.
So I tested everybody, and Isaiah just has a cough, and I'm paranoid. And I'm
Yeah.
paranoid. But I did that hypochondriac thing where I was like, and because she called me on Wednesday, and I was like, "Oh, I'm breathing funny," and she's like, "I know," because she's a bit of a hypo too,
Yeah.
Oh, but he came over yesterday, and I tested myself this morning.
Right.
I don't have it. Well, you can't step foot in my job without a test. If you
Mm-hmm.
you have to be responsible. If you're around someone that got you have to be an adult. You can't lie and just go to work and be like, "Oh, I feel fine with a fever."
Right. Yeah. I wish people would just that we had our work culture. Like, still, people. It doesn't. People
My job
didn't get
will
it that
pay
if you
you.
don't feel good, just stay home. It's fine.
My job will pay you to stay away.
Right, because you're a bigger liability coming to work sick than
Oh, and it
taking
spreads like
a sick.
wildfire. It's still to this day it trips me out. Like how illness people we're little petri dishes.
True. Oh, speaking of that, what's this new one that I've heard that they've got suits and pop up set up in Dover in England because they're worried about this new virus coming over from India. That I don't even know what. I forgot the name of that one already. Is it
I did
Tinder?
too because I saw an article about it, but they were going in on Rishi Sunak and
Uh-huh.
not the issue. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah,
That
so
looks
I
good.
don't know.
How does that look?
Perfect. That's what I was thinking.
I'm sitting here, like I keep on lining the top ones, and I'm like, eventually I just gotta pin them and start
Right,
sewing.
right, because they're not going to sew themselves.
Well, you could sit here for hours and try to be extremely perfect with it too, you know.
Yeah, I sometimes think I'm going to do that, and then I'm like, no, it's going to look more aesthetic if you just like make it look more natural and freeform and stop trying to get everything like measured perfectly.
Exactly. And I like we're not symmetrical. I know for a fact that my left leg is longer than my right one. Human beings are, nothing in this
Right.
world is.
No.
Oh man, I am legitimately taking the day off today because I had a bunch of sewing projects, and I'm like, dude, you've been cutting and shaping for like 9 or 10 days. Calm
Yeah.
down, have a seat,
Right.
fill a
Yeah.
pad.
There's other things that need to be worked on. Are all your hems done? Are all the buttons on? Did you sew all the buttonholes?
That's why like Monday and no, I haven't done any of that. So yes, I have to do all of that. That's why I treat Mondays as like my talk show day, and
Yeah.
then Wednesdays and Saturdays I'm actually sewing stuff because I've
Yeah.
been sewing every day and I'm burnt out. I'm
You're
burnt out.
right.
I was cleaning. I cleaned my middle bedroom. I had two 55-gallon bags of scraps.
I heard you say that last night. Oh my.
It's because I hoard the painter, like the big thick trash bag.
Right.
Because I'm always putting stuff in storage. I'm always like, throwing away hazardous materials.
Right.
So I need real trash bags. And I was embarrassed at how much stuff was in the middle bedroom. Because I take little, the bags that you get from like your Safeway or Walmart, and I fill them with all
Hmm.
my scraps.
Right. So then you're like, I should actually accumulate them all in one place and see how many scraps I actually have.
It's embarrassing in my truck right now, in my non-operable truck, um, in front of my house, which I should have got rid of years ago. I have almost 5 bags of 55-gallon of scraps. I didn't say it correctly, but I have 5 huge bags.
Yep, that's a lot.
I need to find out where, like, because ESPN is finding a way. I got a text in because Apple will pay for you. They'll pay all your bills for you because it runs through what's it
Oh,
called?
Apple Pay.
Apple TV. And
Mm-hmm.
so Paramount now and ESPN are being automatically paid through my phone, and I was like, I need to take ESPN off.
Yeah,
But
you need
now
to cancel these subscriptions that you don't use.
I did. I got rid of everything except for Paramount and ESPN. But now Isaiah's
Okay.
all into football, and Spectrum is fighting with Disney because Disney has literally become an evil overlord. And so now
Yo.
there's like 40 something channels I can't watch. I was so surprised. I've been talking about this for 2 weeks because I don't watch
Right.
television. And then, but I watch sports. And so I click on my TV and like half the channels aren't there
Oh.
because Disney owns everybody. Disney
Well,
owns.
right now they're starting to unload a whole bunch of stuff because they can't. They're that whole Reedy Creek. They've got issues. Disney's
So
got problems.
I take it personal that when my son gets into football, he can't watch it. So now, like, but we have weird channels. We have off channels where he can watch. He doesn't care what game it is. But right now, like, he's with my ex-wife's family and they're watching the Raider game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch it. Well, actually, if it's on regular TV, I can. But if it's not, then I can't watch it. Why did I do that?
I know, because aren't they playing the Bills this week?
Yeah, but as long as it's not, let's see, Dallas Cowboys lost to. Oh, they destroyed the Jets.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Oh gosh, that's why I know. That's why, like this time of year, I stay off of Facebook because a lot. I'm kind of into sports. I'm a casual sports fan. I won't fight anybody over sports. And people I know are fighting each other over their sports teams on
Well,
Facebook.
Oh, that's just lame.
And so I truly avoid Facebook this time of year. And with politics coming up, it's like, dude, we're adults. We can agree to be on different sides, you know?
I know, and don't even get me started right now. It's my show. I can get started. The way that every camp is just trying to keep everybody polarized and divided by like stupid keeping everybody in their fifis instead of like actually using their brains.
You know, I actually had to tell my mom recently to put the news down and just vote, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She's saying, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to vote for this guy or that guy. And I was like, well, then just vote, you know? Like,
Right,
don't not vote. And this is a
right,
woman who has voted in every election since the 1960s or 70s, you know?
right. It's been a long time.
I don't like the Facebook. Facebook is it's awful. It's become so awful. And these are people I've known my whole life. I'm friends with every single person in my kindergarten class picture. We're all still friends. Like, oh, did I not take the mic off? I did.
Oh, sorry. We're just knocking the house down around
I'm
here.
doing the same thing over here. Oh my.
I
Oh,
guess
here
it's
we go.
contagious.
Here we go. But it's a mess. It's like Mad Max on Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know. Mine's not terrible, but I'm mostly just there briefly for a couple of groups and people things, but I'm not stuck on there. Gal getting people to wash their machines with water, Windex, etc. Yeah. Oh, what? Just
Yes.
the sewing machine Facebook ones are horrible. Why would you even do that? Getting people to wash their machine?
I got kicked out of a group for
That's
putting stickers on a sewing machine. They're
right. Yeah,
hardcore.
I know, but at least that's not going to like actually damage the integrity of the machine.
Facebook is like the wild, wild west. It's a really nice version of Twitter because everyone's grandma's on there talking trash to people nicely in a very passive
Right.
aggressive way.
Yeah.
I I just and that's why I do not advertise any godless sewing stuff on Facebook. I posted like when I did the So Frugal, I posted one of my coats and like a bunch of people were like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "You don't know me. You do not know me.
From the Schmata shop, don't
You're
you
not
know?
allowed to know me."
We're not friends like that anymore.
I find that weird too, that people you haven't talked to in 25 years are all up in your business. That's just weird to me, you know?
Yeah.
I have a rule like with my old school friends, if you don't have my phone number now, take that as a clue. Like I switched my number a year or two ago and I was like, there's quite a few people I don't want to give my number to.
And you don't have to.
Because I had the same number for like 10 or 11 years. And one day I was like, I'm not gonna, give the new phone who dis text to this person.
Mm-hmm. That is fine. I guess. All right, Ailey, I hear you in the back of my ear. I will not finish this French seam right now until later, only because I'm actually going to press my seam. Not that anybody's going to see with all this fabric, but it'll make me feel better. Getting a sewing machine repair shops would put their shop sticker on their machines. Exactly. It's advertising. Okay.
I haven't watched Jack Hanna since I was a child.
This skirt is so floof. Where's this?
Oh, that's awesome.
No, I can't get it. Oh, that's right. I can move.
Hey, Pam. Oh, that's beautiful and floofy.
It is pink silk for the floofy win.
Yay. Hi, Pam. And
Hey,
yay for the floof.
Pam. You've had the same. Wow, that is a long time since you to have a same phone number.
My someone I know that I hang out with too much because we are contractually obligated to be nice to each other has had the same phone for like 16 or 17 years.
I think I changed my number when we left Seattle to my local jurisdiction because I did. Oh, because business and well, I thought it would be nice to have. Thank you. Floofy goodness. Let's check the bobbin. Oh, we
I
got
should start
plenty.
sewing the flowers on. I am so burnt out. And then last night, I really didn't sleep well, and that really
Oh,
affects me. So
yeah.
I need to call my ex-wife to see when Hands is coming back. I actually can just look and see when the Raider game is over because
Right.
because they're all watching the Raider game,
That's a zipper. That's not snacks.
which I
I
really
know.
like. I like my son having that community. Like
Yeah.
I get along with my ex-wife, so like, there's no drama. And I like the fact that he goes and hangs out with a bunch of Raider fans on the weekends.
Right. Yes, little floof.
And like I bought him a Raider hat. He has a Raider sweatshirt, and his mom told me that she just bought him a Raiders jersey.
Aww.
I've lived in the same house since 2006. When did I move back here? That's consistency. Like
Yeah.
in my neighborhood, most people last about 4 or 5 years, except for the people I don't like. They go live here forever.
Right.
That's awesome, Pam. I moved around a lot in my 20s, so I try to stay in the same place.
I didn't sleep well last night either, says Allie. Everyone I talked to today didn't sleep well last night. That Yale made mention of it too. That is funny. I didn't
I'm a
sleep
mess.
terribly. I just didn't want to get up. I just was like, no, I'm gonna lay here till 9:30 this morning.
I did that too because part of me wanted to go to the swap meet, and I opened my eyes and I was like, I only got like 4 hours of sleep. I was like, I have to lay here. I just laid there, and I put on one of my favorite YouTubers, and I was like, I took a few cat naps, but it didn't help. I woke up even more groggy.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
And then the worst, I woke up with a headache, and I'm like, what's the point of sleep?
Wait, bring on the coffee. Where's my coffee?
Exactly. And the sad thing is caffeine does knock down, but like I put ice on a headache because it freezes the mucous membranes. And I feel like coffee does the opposite of that. Like it frees them. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Do not take any medical advice from Count
Right,
Sewing.
no, coffee is vaso, or the caffeine. It does have a vasodilating effect, but
It brings down the headache. That and it was overcast this morning. Like I'm one of those immunocompromised people where every time the weather changes, I get a little sniffly every time. And it looked like it was gonna
oh,
rain.
I know the smoke came in from some fire yesterday, so the air's quality's been a little yucky. Oh, Allie, you had to move every 1, 2, or 3 years until high school. Super sucked. Yeah, that must have been really hard to always be like the new kid and never feel settled. That sounds unfun.
That's why in my son's life I've like I have to be the consistent one because people move a lot.
Yep, some do for sure. That's,
And also though, like in the last case, my ex-wife had a janky landlord who, like, it was a long story, but like basically through some weird law did raise the rent, did some rent control stuff, and kicked everybody out.
oh,
The entire complex, because basically they were going to redo it, call them condos, and charge more money.
oh, yeah. I'm marginally terrified of that possibility, but they have to have reason to kick people out here. So
You live in a state where your state will protect you. In a
I
lot of
hope so.
ways, there's laws that are ways to protect you. In California, he or she who has the most money rule. It's
Yeah.
sad. It's sad. It's sadly socioeconomic here. That's why. That's one of the reasons I want to move.
Oh, that's so terrible, Allie, to be treated like a stranger, the new kid in town, and a foreigner. Oh no, that's like the triple whammy of like.
And kids are cruel. Now I have Foghat. Now I have the Foghat song, "Stranger in My Hometown," stuck in my. It's a great song, "Stranger in My Hometown."
Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't sew off the lines on this bias binding. I'm being daring and I pinned it both sides, so I only have to sew it once. Let's see how much I have to like hand fix later if I really didn't catch it.
Oh yeah, I was
What
gonna
little
check to
man?
see what the Raiders are playing. Ooh, okay, the game's over. Let me make a phone call. They lost too.
Oh no! Oh, they lost to the Bills.
They got smashed 38-10.
Wow, that is. Oh man! All right, this is gonna. Let's see here. Slowly. Maybe this will be better on this machine because I can't drive quickly. It's gonna go nice and slow, and then I'll dig through my Tobo goodies to figure out what we're gonna do for that waistband. I mean, I guess I could just cut a silk piece, but maybe I've got some ribbon or something pretty instead. Oh, he's working on sewing patches eventually.
I'm a turtle today, but I added flowers on my friend and I'm giving her a makeover with some flowers on this vest. I'm adding some life on this angry vest.
You're just making her stylish.
Well, I loved those hand sewn recycled patches from downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And they are so bright. Like I'm watching them on screen right now because there's a big delay on YouTube between YouTube
Right.
and I love how they shine. They're just bright. Because the real hardcore embroidered ones, it's the thread just being run across. But
Yeah.
these are made and then they sew them in a circle. So it's made as one piece, then they sew it in a giant circle. And for all that work, they only sell them for $1.50 each.
Oh my goodness. Well, their labor, I mean, their materials are cheap, I'm guessing, and they must be able to do them relatively quickly to have such
I
low
really wonder
cost,
about that because the rent is so high though.
right? Oh, you can just walk, it's fine.
To be on the main street, it's $6,000 a month, and so it goes down from there. Like I
Right?
couldn't imagine paying that much for a studio, and they're huge. But $6,000 is a lot.
That
I
is
better
a
be
lot of money.
I better be living there.
Right? Yeah, that better be the only rent I'm paying.
Sometimes I think my buddy lives in that building, but that the building that I go to with my friend is an old sweatshop. They call it a sewing
Mm-hmm.
factory.
Right, because they had to update, make everything PC sounding.
But every time I go to take a picture of the building, someone scary walks by and I don't want to pull out my cell phone. And I'm telling you the
Right.
truth. I'm telling you the truth. I don't want people to realize that I have a $700 phone on my hip.
Right.
That's why I'm scared for my son to be walking around with an iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's mainly around adults, so literally 99% of the time, so he'll be okay. But every time I've gone to take a picture of this building, because part of me wants to I don't know. Isaiah was like, "Oh, I'll live downtown," and I'm like, "I know you do. I know," because it sounds adventurous.
Right, until you actually are there and it's like noisy, never quiet. Or I mean that means the same thing, but
Well, it's
too much
eerily
promotion.
like right now, it's really cleaned up, but also downtown used to be endless shops. It was
Mm-hmm.
weird. Like they would have at least like 15, 16 blocks of endless shops. And although they've cleaned up everything, they only have 4 or 5 blocks now.
Hmm.
So the business, like the clothes business is booming. But like the electronics business is dead. Broadway was for all of its detractors, they always had open businesses, always selling weird electronic stuff from China that you wouldn't see anywhere except for downtown LA. And
Mm-hmm.
it's only in the alley shops now.
Hmm. Well, I bet you the COVID and everything probably killed a whole bunch of those types of places. If they didn't already have a big online shop and you can't go into the store to look at stuff,
True.
then
It's weird. And that's why I keep on saying it's so clean, but it's also like weirdly abandoned too. It's just it used to be endless shops. Like just it was awesome. It was something to see. But I'm also thinking of the world 20 something years ago. I lived in LA in the early 2000s, right before I moved to Portland.
mm-hmm.
And when I lived in Portland, Oregon was one of the most peaceful places on earth.
Right, yeah, not so true. I wonder now too if the city's just going to turn a whole bunch of those abandoned store shops into apartments for all the migrants and vagrants and addicts.
Well, downtown has been gentrified, so people are paying $500,000 to live down there because it's been gentrified. So you see a weird mix of man buns and homeless people.
Right.
It's
And
weird.
sometimes on the same, yeah.
LA is crazy. Like LA is the weirdest mix, but we have everything here. So, you know. And I forget because I live in the burbs where everyone kind of looks alike.
Right.
And I go to LA and it's real diversity.
Hmm. I know right now the town is going through this like we need to make all these rooms for because we have quite a substantial homeless population, a lot of drugs, the same different stuff. And the city's council's like, oh, we're gonna use this end of town and like do all sorts of stuff, and then everybody's like, no, not in my backyard. They're like sanctuary city, but then it's like,
Oh, you always cut out at the good
it's,
part.
oh, I know you froze too, or at least on. Oh, that's funny. You're live on the Rumbles. You're working, but I'm frozen. But on the wait, you're frozen, and I'm not. All right. Well, I guess we'll catch up eventually.
I did that one stream with the whole time your screen was frozen that one time.
Oh, I remember that one. Or there was the day that chat like just decided to die. Was I don't even remember which show that
That's
was.
been happening more lately. StreamYards used to never have problems, and now they're just having common problems.
Yeah, I know, Pam. Crazy prices to have a roof over your head. It's insane.
LA is people are literally just in my neighborhood. There is a man who walks a dog, and I befriend everybody because I'm a talker. I know it's a shocker, but he's paying $3,000 a month to rent a house.
And is it like a big house, a little house? Is
It's a
it? Are we
three
talking
bedroom
about like three? Okay.
with like I have a backyard, but people more in the like I live in a weird hidden neighborhood. Some people
Mhm.
have national parks as backyards because if they live on the cul-de-sac. Other people have
Mhm.
tiny backyards. Like my friend Linda, I always talk about. Her backyard it's long, but it's not wide.
Mhm.
It's weird. So her rent, like, well, she owns her house, but like people who rent over there pay less money because they have smaller backyards.
Yeah.
It's the size of you pay for the property that you're sitting on.
Right.
And so it's weird that and I know that's a hookup price. Part of me thinks either the guy who recently moved in is a millionaire or he moved in through a company
Mm.
because he's a young
Or
man and like
yeah.
unless I haven't seen him on TV. And you have to have money to like $1 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's insane, Pam.
It was charging $250,000 or no, $2,500 per month. Wow, I'm just like adding zeros. I wear these glasses to pretend to look smart and read, and sometimes I can't do either.
And the funny thing is, like, people from where I live used to move where Pam lives. I know someone that moved. I believe he moved to southern Utah so he can pretend to be a biker.
Yeah,
And see, but he works for an electric company, so he showed up with California money, you know.
yeah.
And he bought a house and he has a giant like barn. That is absolutely insane. See, that's what I'm saying. Part of me, like, if I move somewhere, I'm gonna tell everyone I'm from Arizona, because I swear you get charged more if you are from California.
That's true, and people might like you nicer, like pretend to fake like you more if they don't think you're from California.
It would make more sense with my cowboy hat too. My cowboy hat really confuses people.
Yeah, they don't know what to think.
Well, I actually do cowboy stuff. That's the difference.
That's right.
I'm not just wolfing in front of a. I'm not like a country singer.
Right, I'm not a faux boy.
No. Oh, that's why I still listen to that Mojo Nixon song, "Machines Ain't Music," where he's talking
Mhm.
about modern day country.
Oh, hey, Brave Rivers. What's next? Oh, and next, okay, because you can't. Let's.
Oh wow, yeah, it's out of control. Part of me wants to like really move out of California because it's just the prices are so crazy here.
Sorry for the keep moving. It's nice to not be attached to my headset right now, so I just keep wandering around with this little tiny room. I got my orange short dress, and I was like, it doesn't have enough dude yet, so I've got some more strips. So I'm gonna
Love it.
add some ruffles to it because we add ruffles to everything in this house.
This is a ruffle house. I like
Yeah,
that.
right. The ruffle circus.
There's a legendary story of my mom. Like everybody was acting up on Christmas, and she lined us up, and she yelled at all the kids, and she was like, "It is Christmas, and you will be happy, damn it!" Like every man, we still make fun of my mom for that. She was like, "You will be smiling. You will pretend to like each other." She
All
was
right,
tired of us
Allie.
fighting.
Fair. Let's see here. Allie says the people who build those roofs here have not had pay go up at all in the hottest market for housing in the world. That is insane. Who are tired of hearing the same sound in so many voices. The voice processor has ruined vocalists. Yeah, it's all Alanis Morissette and Cher's fault. Cher, stop that.
I know people that said that Pro Tools ruined the music industry because people didn't have to learn how to be producers on actual machines.
Well, it's true. Well, and I think the music industry kind of ruined the music industry too by the way the rights to catalogs and
Oh,
I don't
true.
know. There's so much weirdness.
I'm over all that weirdness. I'm glad you said the word weird. I'm over all of it. Like I am all up in Black Twitter. They're constantly talking about Puffy and all his weird parties, and I'm like, I'm over all of you guys. Like I'm over
Yeah.
all. Okay, I have to remember as I'm sewing this. I have to remember where I start and where I stop because it's all red. And the other day, I caught myself while I was hand sewing. I looked on the back and I had gone over something I had already sewn.
Well, it's better to go over than to miss a big stretch.
True.
Oh,
Especially
it's
with
all the
this.
way.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, Ellie says that it's the way the processors ended up into Pro Tools.
Exactly. It ruined music, though. Well, you know what? Part of me doesn't think it ruined music. It allowed everybody to participate, but
Hmm.
it diluted the field. You know.
Yeah. One, what do
Mm.
you think? Speaking of things that are ruined and odd about Drew Barrymore and who is it, Bill Maher, whoever is like, Raiders strike, we don't care. We're gonna bring back our shows.
Okay, so I opened up with my heartless speech when all this happened. How I don't feel sorry for those guys,
Right.
but like, man, people have to eat. I don't know. It's different.
Yeah.
Like I've been a scab. I got a job in Texas, and we were making casings for Chinook helicopters. On the bus to the factory, people were throwing stuff at the bus, and they had to
Oh
black out
no.
the windows. And they paid us a lot of money. They paid us a
Yeah.
lot of money because they needed it done.
Right. And they. Right.
And Texas is the land of helicopters and tanks. They make all kinds of fun stuff in Texas. The whole point is like at some point they are going to start bringing in scabs,
Mm-hmm.
or they're going to find some guy with 300,000 subscribers, 2 million. Like, hey, you want a show? You want to tick off everybody? But what's going to happen when these people come back? It's not just it's also Jennifer Hudson and Sherry Shepard. What's going to
Mm,
happen is they're going to be blacklisted.
yeah.
They'll never work in those circles in Hollywood again.
Yeah.
I wish Kilroy was here. Kilroy would be fighting for
I know.
Drew.
Oh, yeah, Elliot all took the feel out of it. The sound is now always the same. I
Yeah.
like Drew Barrymore. She doesn't need to work, but she really likes to be active and in the spotlight, of course. And she was okay talking to. Well, that's good. And I think it helps, right, for the people, like the sound people, the light people, the camera people, all of these other backstage or behind the scenes folks who, if they're on strike and not working, then they don't have money.
Drew Barrymore, every time she opens her mouth, she is like a quintessential Californian. She has the Californian twang, like she has that valley, well, the Southern Californian, I should say.
Just like the Bronx accent is not Brooklyn, is not Central New York.
I have, excuse me, this really grainy rap rock CD that I've had for over 20 years. And the opening of it is like, oh, I'm having such a fun time in New York. And the guy looks at me and says, you're not in New York, you're in the Bronx. And then the album starts. I always thought that was a really awesome opening for an album.
Right, because it's not the same.
And it's probably from some movie I'll never see or I've never heard of, but it's like one of my favorite quotes.
Ooh, do I?
And much like LA, they'll tell you what part you're in because there's signs everywhere. LA has signs everywhere. Little Ethiopia, little Italy, little everything.
Little Constantinople.
Istanbul and Constantinople. No.
The more main movie industry stays out of production, the more people go finding small content creators. Yeah, I think it's great for streaming and independence and Rumble and I don't know about YouTube, but Rumble is crushing it.
Totally. I
Oh,
think
but
what's
that
in, oh, go ahead.
no, finish up your thought because I'm gonna segue.
Oh, it's just gonna we're gonna they're gonna play the long game with the actors. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, and I think it'll be it does not behoove in the writers' strike to not deal with AI scripts and how they're gonna what they're gonna do with that for another 10 years. They
But
need to
those
figure out what to
sorry.
do.
Those AI songs and all that stuff is kind of scary though because they're like, "Oh, listen to this mashup," and it's just a computer doing the work of two people with their voices.
Right. And if we
Where's
don't need
the
writers, AI does it. They
where's the responsibility is my question, or who takes responsibility for that?
yeah, I don't know. Those are good questions.
Because would you be ticked if someone like did an AI generated thing of you, and used your likeness in a way that you didn't like?
Yeah, I think I don't. Yeah, I would not care for it. I think the actors have a bigger issue if if some of them wrote signed contracts without reading, and there's clauses of and the studio owns your likeness and image rights, and you've signed yourself away, versus me who's like, I don't consent to that, nor have I given anyone written permission to make use of me that way.
I'm even weird when like the hate, like the people make hate videos and they'll clip something that I've done, or I think it's creepy. I think that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I know, Ellie. I don't think they've done anything good yet with the AI, but I think they're still teaching it too. So who knows what's gonna happen as things evolve. But we'll see. What do I want to do next week? What do I want?
I'm kind of in a weird impasse like that too of what I should make. I'm like debating what pattern I should do. I'm probably gonna make an apron. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what magic happens this evening.
I know we've been talking about difference for a couple weeks, and I haven't even thought about a pattern yet.
I'm not even like I'm on reverse hours because I didn't get any sleep last night, so I'm like a wreck.
I know I could eat some food and go back to bed right about now, but then it's like sleepy time.
Last night I jokingly was like, "Oh, people who live in the past have these shirts," and I'm wearing it today. This is my 2014 Stanley Cup champion when the Kings won the cup. I was really skinny back then.
And now I cover the shirt.
It makes me feel buff though when I wear it. Makes me feel tough. It makes my
Like,
arms look huge.
Incredible Hulk, just busting out the seams.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. I brought over Sally so I could hang this to pin stuff, and then I took the jacket off, and Sally's not next to me anymore.
These patches are beautiful. I'm glad I did this. I'm really glad I made the decision to do this.
Yeah, those roses are nice. Let's see here. Allie, teaching and learning are one thing. Huh. Where do new ideas, new concepts, new sounds come from with AI? It will never. That's true. Right. And they can't copyright AI because, at least in America, from what I understand of the copyright law, a human has to be directly involved in the making of it to have copyright protection.
Interesting.
So, yeah, we'll see. Though, I mean, it's not like humans have had lots of like novel seeming ideas right now either. Just kind of like going to the lowest common denominator of crap, but hopefully that will change.
Oh, poor mask. All this stuff is falling down. Oh, I gotta figure out what to do with these old patches.
So
They've been living on my chair for a week or two.
yeah, it's time to find them a new home.
Especially when I don't even realize they're there until I'm doing something complicated, and then it starts restricting my movement.
You're like, yeah, what's
About
touching me?
once every 6 months, I have a meltdown and completely change this room. I'm like, I need a room. If I can't fit my 6-foot table in here, I'm like, I did this to myself.
Right, exactly. It is true. How should I hang up? I think I'm going to add some loops to the sleeves, which are already too long, and then some of this around the neck and the front opening. That's what hopefully I have enough, because I don't have any more of this orange. Actually, that's not true, but we're into the scrap section. Oh, I'm just going to sneeze. Okay. No, guess not yet. Wow, I am like super chatty this week. But I'm kind
That's a
of
good thing.
Right, that is fair. Because I don't know, I'm not making any thoughts or opinions about this whole Russell Brand being accused of all of these things from a gajillion years ago. And
Sorry.
that, that, I don't know. I mean, I know people are intimidated by celebrity, but this whole waiting 10 years, 17 years to file reports and make accusations, I just don't know. That, and he's so, but he's got 6 million followers on different, probably that's even just his YouTube, not let alone his Rumble or different stuff. That, like, is he just, does the British mainstream media feel like he's that much of a threat to their propaganda, one-sided storytelling? Like, I just don't get it. Right, he has admitted that he was messed up. This is true, and that everything, at least that he recalls, was always consensual. So we'll see. And all that thing with like the text messages, like yeah, I'm not making any. I don't know what to think about what's happening there, because I could easily see where he's getting set up by all these groups because they just don't like him. I know, 6.5 million just on YouTube. I'm lucky that I just got 72 on the YouTubes. I'll take it. Yeah, I don't hate him. I mean, I've got a friend of mine we were chatting about it earlier, and they were like, just so viscerally, like, he's a horrible person. I'm like, I don't know this person. I've never met them. Like, I'm not going to base my opinion about what I think about them based on how the media portrays them to me. Let's have a cup of coffee and then we'll go from there. Because I can make my own decisions. So we'll see. It's weird. It doesn't, yeah, I don't know. It's just stuffed up. But then that brings me to another B. That whole Lauren Boebert getting kicked out during Beetlejuice. And why was somebody having their night vision goggles, like, where they just, employees at theaters do this now, of like spying on people with night vision? Because I don't remember this happening in the past. And the vaping, probably not super cool, but if they're vaping on stage, then, I mean, that's odd. But the group, I don't know. I don't know. Everything's weird and funny right now. Or is it just normal? I don't know. Well, let's see here. He causes people to think he does, and he can really talk to the public in a way they can understand instead of vague political speaking or talking points. That's true. Canadian politicians answering in Parliament is a great example. Yeah, politicians, I think if they're a lot like the American ones, they've got this way of having all this verbal diarrhea of saying, and yet all these words to say absolutely nothing. And it doesn't even make sense. It's like, okay, what's happening here? Because he is a good speaker, and I don't just like. I don't know. I enjoyed listening to him every once in a while. So, yep, we'll see. I hope that the truth comes out and that the true victims are vindicated, whatever that ends up looking like, because I'm not going to play judge, juror, and executioner. No, judge, jury, and executioner on this one, because I don't know. There's been too much weirdness. And like that, it just kind of feels like Amber Heard just kind of like devised a playbook, because then what Ashley Morgan Smith line and I'm going to forget all the characters who were accusing Marilyn Manson because they don't like his stage persona, accusing him of being terrible. I still don't know what with the whole Kevin Spacey, but then with the Masterson just being convicted, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you watch Russell often. I enjoy. I like listening to him talk, and his voice is kind of soothing. So he's easy on the ears, which helps.
I used to watch him on the Rumbles all the time.
Yeah.
Because I like watching lives, but as a child, I was addicted to talk radio.
Oh,
Addicted. So if you're a rambler like myself, I will listen to you no matter what you're talking about.
right. Which is why I appreciate everybody who shows up every week to this show.
I really wasn't even into RuPaul's Drag Race, and I started watching sewists talk about the clothes, and it got me into this show because the entire show, all like everything you see that the people are wearing was someone made that by hand, or they made
Yeah.
it on a machine, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's
Right.
real artwork.
Yes.
And the sad thing is in the sewist world, I actually watched an interview last night. This guy was talking about how it used to be wrestlers. You get a lot of money off the wrestlers, and
Yeah.
now it's drag queens. And this guy
Yeah.
is like, in the 80s, I made a ton of money off the wrestlers, and he's like, now I'm making clothes for drag queens. You know.
Yep. Everybody. It just shifts who wants all this more sequins and sparkles than last time. I know, me too, Allie. I thought that he was a very smart person from the get go. He just made bad choices here and there. Absolutely. And he's always been open and honest about being a fallible human. So that's like that makes me have this inkling, like in the pit of my stomach, that this is a horrible, bizarre smear campaign. Because I. I don't know. People lie on all the sides, so I just, yeah.
I had
Hey, Skids.
no. Hey, kids. I'm laughing because I had a conversation with my son about about this very subject, and I basically told him believe nobody,
Right.
be
Here,
skeptical.
but yeah. Listen, but verify. I can't even say like trust and verify because I don't trust anybody.
No, it's easy. Like show me are some words that will
Right.
change someone's life. Like okay, show me if so, like people, and I am not left or right for Russell Brand. I know nothing about the situation. I read 10 seconds of an article. I know nothing about it, but people have said the things about me, and I'm just kind of like, that's so false. It's not even worth addressing.
Right. Yeah. And it's also so weird to me that these things come out in the newspapers and it's not like there's been any legal cases because the events allegedly happened like what in New York and Los Angeles between '06 and 2013. He doesn't even live in this country. So are they just doing this now because of the whole
Well, LA will put him in jail. LA will put him in jail. They just gave Tory Lanez 10 years when they used to never, and they're going to deport him after the 10 years. And famous people usually get away with do whatever they want here. Let's not forget that Justin Bieber literally killed someone on the 405 off ramp with his Lamborghini and got away with it.
mm,
The guy was a paparazzi, but we have paparazzi everywhere here. They're in the
right,
bushes. They're like squirrels here. I'm not kidding.
right
I'm not even trying to be
worse than
funny.
squirrels.
They're everywhere, you know. So they know LA will right now they'll put him in jail in LA.
Assuming that they have any charges against him right now, it's just news reports.
And
There's
also Los Angeles is a place where I could file a restraining order against a turnip.
yeah,
We have crazy laws here. I could go to a cow and get a restraining order, and the cops would have to serve that cow. We don't play in California. Oh,
It's, yeah, the way he described his lifestyle back then, I can see that happening, and I think that several took advantage of him. Probably true. And if that's assumed, like if you were under the influence, you can only be certain about the stuff you actually remember.
but again, in my state, we have weird laws where even if someone's under the influence, they can still sue you.
Right. But then I know, and then that gets into the whole consent under the influence. Like, if all parties are intoxicated, then no one's given any consent to anything.
That's kind of the law here. It's weird. We have weird law. I try to keep up with it, but I'm not being accused of any of this stuff, so I like it's not anything that's important to me, you know.
Mhm. No, but it's good things to be aware of just because you've got a teenager and you like
Well,
he's
I know
at
all the
risk.
all the minor laws like in the state of California, it's illegal for basically if somebody starts emailing him on Facebook and stuff and they're not a family member, that's illegal. If we have crazy laws. Like if he starts talking to someone in Ohio that's 40, that's illegal.
Hmm.
And that person can get prosecuted. Like California does not play when it comes to the
Right.
kids. And it's all because of the internet. Like a
Yeah.
lot of these laws are new.
Now if they could just keep up with the having safe workplace laws for minors on the internet and these like horrible weird family channels and stuff. Because at least
NBC is NBC has a lawsuit right now. Bravo is being sued for making children work without pay, for supplying alcohol to all of the housewives. Like people are basically the housewives are suing.
yeah, I know that. I'm that's interesting also.
But I think all of this is in correlation with the strike and everything else.
That's right.
You know.
They've got nothing else. There's nothing to talk about, so we've got to make some drama somewhere so that we've got something to report on.
Well, I live in a place where they're constantly filming and they are they're vampires.
Hmm.
Like if someone's filming something, they will be out there for 27 hours,
Right.
29 hours, 34 hours. Like there's a hidden mega church up the street from my house and they film there all the time. And it was kind of creepy because I saw a commercial and I'm like, "Oh, I drove past it today. Excuse me. It seats 700 people.
Oh my god.
But it's hidden.
Okay.
It's like I live by a canyon, by a giant canyon.
Yeah.
And so the facade of the church doesn't look that big, but it's deep in the canyon.
Right. Well, that just makes me laugh and think about the Hindu temples in India where they have the longer the food services and they feed like one, two, the upwards of like 300,000 people food
Crazy. That's
in
crazy.
shifts. I know.
You know what though? I learned like in downtown LA, it is possible. At the Midnight Mission, I volunteered there, and they do it military style. They like
Mm,
people line up, they feed people, and then they leave. They feed more people. You know, it's
yep.
like an assembly line, and they don't rush
Right.
anybody. It's not they're not being rude or anything, you know. But like
Right.
everyone gets fed,
Yep.
so it is doable.
It is. I know. I guess there's going to be a Sikh festival in the first weekend in November. Some down in Yuba City, so I might be driving down to California to go eat food. 'Cause what
I
happened here?
love that on the border. What is that? Is that there's this spot where you can stop and look? Is that Mount Whitney? What? Not Mount Whitney. Mount Shasta. What
Yeah,
is it? It's Shasta.
Shasta, just over the border. Yeah.
I have 100 pictures of that stupid mountain. Every time I'd come back from Oregon, I never noticed it going. But on the way back, I like stop at every rest stop because I'm like, it's gonna be a long drive home.
Right.
It's different. Going there, it's like Vegas. When I would drive to Vegas, I would be so excited. I'm dancing on the way home. I'm like almost in tears.
Right. I'm like, just get me home fast. I need my own bed. I'm done. Hey,
And
get out of the sink, cat.
one time I did cry on the way home. It was I laugh at
Oh,
myself now. No, I was just sleep deprived. That's why I
yeah.
couldn't drink it.
Seems reasonable.
Oh, this is gonna look great. And I'm gonna sew the green leaves with the green thread so everything coincides with each other.
But you're trying to be all matchy-matchy. I'm like, I'm just going to use up this spool of gray thread. I don't care what I'm sewing. He's like,
With
wait.
with all my cleaning, I've been unearthing the miles of thread that I have. And that's another compulsive habit I have is buying thread. I'm like, oh, I buy cheap thread, good thread, bad thread. I don't care where it's. If I see it, I buy it.
Yeah, I'm glad that I don't. But I'm standing next to two whole drawers filled with thread, so and a whole bunch of it is industrial spools. So I'm kind of good.
That's why in one of my segments a long time ago, I made a segment about how I do not see the difference between cheap thread and expensive thread.
I do, but it depends. It depends on what I'm using it for. It depends. Like everything, it always depends. Let's see here. I guess I should just start to pin this and see if it fits.
I can't believe I have almost come all the way around on this flower. It's the advantage of being left-handed.
Oh, yeah, wow, I'm super chatty today.
I'm like
Sorry.
I'm like weirdly ambidextrous, but I was left-handed and it was corrected.
Yeah, that's just a shame.
It was that time they told me like everyone is right-handed. You have to learn with your right, and I learned with my right, and I can write better with my right hand than my left.
I'm equally good. They didn't try to force me, but they thought that something was wrong because when I was 6, I still hadn't picked out a dominant hand. I would just like write with both of them, and I still do.
Isaiah
I'm
was
like,
like that. I never
it's
told
hard,
him it was wrong. I never told
right?
him. He chose a hand eventually,
Yeah,
but it was weird. Like it was weird to everybody else that he would use his left hand, and I'm like, as humans, aren't we supposed to? It's not a useless
we have two hands,
appendage.
right? Why not? Exactly.
Like, come on. I don't know. I'm pro left hand because my older brother is a real life left-hander, and there's not too many of them left.
Exactly. Yes. See, I'm with Ellie on this. I would not use rotten pink silk thread in the industrial singer. Singer 2. I got it with that machine, but I would use it for thread painting. And I know exactly. You don't need a dominant hand. Though if you're going to
Pam
be in a
likes.
kitchen,
Oh,
you
sorry.
should at least let people know if you are a southpaw cutter, so they know to stay away from your elbow. But that's safety.
Pam likes thread too. I knew Pam was like me. I've scored boxes of thread at a thrift store where I was like laughing like a Bond villain, like ha ha ha. This is only $5.
Why thread?
Mm,
I know.
ooh,
Plus, it's good for your brain to mix stuff up a little bit. Do I get? All right, I think I would have just enough. If not, I'm gonna like gather the last little bit of the sleeve into this poofy cuff because for like a 1/4 inch, I am not attaching an extra piece. I'm gonna make it bed.
perfect. You know, there's something in the air. There is something in the air. My friend,
Yeah.
my friend from your area just sent me a text.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
I've
I
had a
think it's called
weird.
Forest Fire, Smoke, and
Yeah.
Marijuana.
I'm not a believer in much, but there's been a bunch of crazy. I got in a car accident.
Oh no!
I scraped my. It's not as bad as it
Oh,
sounds,
right.
but
I heard. Yeah, you were talking about this yesterday.
I'm a schmoop. I'm a schmoop. I'm a schmoop. I was impatient and I dragged my car.
Mm.
And I went around somebody and I ended up scraping them. The funny thing is, I got out of my car for insurance purposes. Everyone kept driving. Oh, that's awesome.
All
That's
right, I
super
just need to
fluky.
make another one and then add more doodads to this. Why make a plain outfit when you can just over embellish everything? All right, back to.
That's literally my motto in life.
I know.
I
I
look
am definitely
normal.
more is more kind of adornments. Let's see. Pam does like to find thread at the thrift store alley. Yes, I've got 10,000 yard spool and have no stand to use it. Only one buck and new. Absolutely. I finally broke down and got one from Amazon. I think it cost me $10 or whatever. It's fine. It's got a heavy base and you just screw it together. It's a screwball job, but it works.
Uh-oh, did you say back in town? What town?
Your oh no, where did you go to be back from?
Well, she drives from like Talent to LA like it's nothing. I used to make that drive at 17 hours
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's a long drive.
from my front door to Phoenix, Arizona in a Mitsubishi Montera, making relative stops to get gas and food. It takes 17 hours and I drive fast.
That's true. One sleeve is not like the other. You are correct. Here's the piece for the other sleeve. We just haven't gotten there yet. Oh, you missed this. I'm glad we're back in town.
Yay.
Yep, you didn't miss anything. I'm working on it.
I knew Pam was a thread collector. I go crazy for thread, and I have toolboxes of it, and I've been unearthing everything lately. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have every color known to man, and enough black to you know.
Right, to outfit an entire Gothic army.
I have somewhere in here though is a spool of black polyester thread. I had a giant. It was upholstery polyester thread. I used it only for battle vests. It took me 4 years to go through that. But somewhere in this room is another one, and it's driving me crazy because I'm looking for it and I cannot find it.
It'll show up. You just got to move the right thing. I know, Allie. I was just playing tricks on you to see, like, are you really aware of what's happening at the circus today? This is your test. But no, you are correct. I end one on because I'm just glad I have this piece cut out that's the same width so that I can make the other sleeve, or I would have used some of this other skinnier stuff, but hopefully we have enough of that to pin around the other stuff. But yeah, that's what was making me think that what's in the air. The scent of autumn in different places, like in New York State, it's at least in the Finger Lakes region, it smells like grapes, Concord grapes in particular. In Seattle, autumn smelled like blackberries, and in where I live now, it literally the scent of autumn is marijuana. Let's see.
It's
Oh,
that
you
time of year. It's that time of.
it
Is that?
is. I know, Pam. I do have yarn and fabric and thread and an entire bag of zippers, which is not the biggest bag because some of
That's
them are
awesome.
long.
That's awesome. I want a bag of zipper.
I know some of these are my grandma's, which are great because I've got some like real metal zips still, and not everything
Exactly.
is plastic.
That's why I don't buy a lot of the new zippers. They're not like the old YKK ones.
No, new zippers are not like old zips. Oh, these in bits and pieces. We don't mind my pack of sterile gloves. Like, here's my laces and trims, just shoved into one giant basket. Whatever. Let's see here. I always get lost in the moment at the circus. Good. And of course, the elephant in the room is the machine. I know. My beauty Brunhild. I get lost in her. It smells like the forest fire right now. Oh, that's what it smells like here too. See, Allie's got a bag of zips. And Pam also has quite a collection of zips. Yes, and then there's my metal tins of buttons that I do have one that used to be this the classic trope of the Danish butter cookies. Like, is it cookies or is it a box of sewing supplies?
In my house, it's sewing supplies.
Those cookies are so weird. I can't tell whether they're like the best cookies or the worst cookies.
Same. I'm like that with almond cookies as well.
Mm,
They all taste the same, but I can sit there and eat a box.
right. I just want halva. I miss some good halva and baklava.
Oh, now I'm craving those cookies. They sell them at the dollar store by my house. They sell like little half tins of them, but you end up buying 2 or 3 tins to equal the big tin anyways.
Yup, I know. I also have quite a few fruitcake containers because the Collins Street Bakery in Texas, my family for a long since I was very small, if not before then, we would always get my grandma fruitcake for her birthday, and they had the best fruitcakes. And now I still eat fruitcake, but Collins Street, it's the best.
I told you I'm hooked on that stuff. My
Mm,
my grandma got me hooked on fruitcake. Yep, have the buttons. I thought
yeah.
I had a large amount of buttons, and then I started using them, and they slowly started disappearing.
Well, that's what's supposed to happen. I feel like I've got enough stuff. I just need to sew it all up, and then I just change where my clutter is from the unfinished project to I don't have enough cupboards and drawer spaces for all of my clothes.
But I was almost disappointed when I had to go buy more buttons.
Yeah, I haven't been putting buttons into anything, so okay, I need to maybe this week. I'm going to oil up and clean my button holder attachment, and next week we will play with practicing baking buttonholes.
Oh my gosh, last night I made tea with my not tomatoes and it
Yeah.
worked.
Oh, good.
I forgot about that. Maybe that's why I'm so groggy this morning.
Oh, Pam, I would probably be astonished at your collection of sewing and craft supplies. It's all good. Oh my gosh, speaking of not Oregon tomato tea, somebody handed me a quarter of a gummy the other day. Holy balls.
That condensed stuff, but I had to walk away from edibles because they were giving me. I was having crises every time I'd eat one.
I hadn't had the giggles like that in so long, and then I got to a point I'm like, I'm done. I'm curling up here and going to sleep, and I was like, all right, I should probably like go home and curl up in my own bed.
Do you know what I do, Pam? Is I collect everything in tubs. Though I'm weirdly organized. I put everything in tubs.
I do like me a clear tub because I have a problem if I can't see what I have because then I forget either overbuy or
Same.
know that I have something, and I don't like not being able to find it. Very much bugs me.
Love using buttons on my overalls. That's another thing. I need to make it my 4th pair of overalls. My first 3 were just guessing. I have an idea of what I'm doing now.
It takes some time. Oh, I love using buttons. Ah, that sounds so good. I know, because not everybody has those weird, like, old-fashioned cookie. they weren't buttons like the loop over things that overalls used to have. I mean, I've got a set, but if you if the
I went
pull
to this
fell off, then it
weird.
has to have a big hole.
They sell the straps. I mean, they sell the metal pieces at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now regretting. I bought 3. I bought 3 sets last time, and I'm now regretting not getting 4. But I was really impressed at my first couple tries. My second one was like the math was off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens sometimes. I know I've been like, I have a couple of handbags, purses that were like falling apart, so I just salvaged the D rings and the O rings and the hardware that I thought was. I was like, I
Heck yeah.
can use this.
Heck yeah. I do that. I do that. That reminds me, I need to start cutting out my fake Fendi clutch that I'm gonna make into something else.
Yes.
I was so excited, no, because I say a lot of things, but I back up everything I say, and LA is filled with fake material. But because a lot of the stores are closed, they used to have a whole fake fashion district where everything was bootleg. Everything. You could buy anything. I would dare people. Like, I've told the story a million times. When I showed up in Oregon, I had Orange County chopper glasses. I got 3 pairs for $7. I mean, that's the one thing that's not open is the extreme bootleg section. That whole area is closed down.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, me too, Allie. I have so many tins of things. I have frosted containers, what I saw used out there and just got them. I saw a sewing room with all clear acrylic see-through, way better. Yes. Ooh, Pam made bags to store my fabric in from fabrics I had in my stash. That is a good idea. And if you need, I'm talking to you, Godless, a project with all these scraps, the closet core poof pattern pulls an astonishingly large amount of scraps because the poof is like 3 feet across by 18 to 20 inches high, and you can shove a lot of fabric in there.
Like, guys, just this weekend, I have 7 55-gallon bags of scraps. I have a
Make like
problem.
5.
I I have a problem. But I was thinking, like, everyone was joking about how I should make a car cover, and I'm like, you know what? I could make a car cover.
Yes.
My neighbors would freak out. I'd have to make the patches a little bit larger,
Right.
just for
Yeah,
time.
be there for days. Yep.
Now I'm thinking about how I could make a car cover. No, because what would happen is that Odin would be like, "Oh, he just made me a tent."
Right. Or a nice bed scratching post. I
Odin
thought
loves.
washing all the bird poop off of that regularly, that might get a little laborious. You should, Pam. I don't have a picture of it. It's in the other room, but it's super easy sew. I made mine out of denim and
Ooh,
some other
that rem-
random pieces, so it's like really sturdy.
that reminds me. Pam reminded me I can just make my own vest because I have denim.
Right? You don't need to buy anything.
Because I made that comment last night how like the only thing I'm really looking for is a new battle vest.
Yeah,
But
no,
Pam reminded I could just make one literally in 10 seconds. Like I could probably make a few with the fabric I have.
oh, yep, 10, 14 gallon bags of scraps. I think it's time. Everybody needs to make the closet. I highly recommend that pattern.
I
And
have
then
I
you have a
have
piece
a
of furniture.
I have a non-op truck in front of my house with a shelf, and I used it as a storage years ago, and I shamed myself and I emptied it. Now I have a treadle without a top in there. I may or may not have this chair's twin, and I have like now like 9 or 10 bags of scrap in the back of my non-op truck. But it's on my property, so I can get real Sanford and Son with it, and it's tinted, so you can't see inside the shell. So it's not as terrible as it sounds, but like
Yes, it is, because that's just the mask for the storage unit and the middle bedroom and
I had to completely I had to change the credit card and everything on that. So I got a new code and everything for my storage unit. That was drama. They called me and they were like, "You've been paying every week. You've been paying consistently on, for 3 years in your card." I was like, "Oh, take this card right now."
right.
They were courteous though, because I'm a consistent customer. So they were like,
Yeah.
"We know something happened."
I know it's terrible when your card expires and you have to go through and like change everything that gets auto
Every
debited, and you're like, did I forget something? Did I make sure the insurance got changed? Did I do this? Did I do that?
Oh, everything is reminding me, sir, Mr. Sewing, you have not paid me. Mr. Sewing, you have not paid. And Apple's like that too. Apple, they'll remind you real quick there's not a credit card on your phone.
Oh yeah, Google's the same way. I know, Pam. If you just make the poof, you could definitely make use of your scraps. Yeah, absolutely, because you just stuff all the scraps in there, and the more you stuff in there, the firmer the poof gets, so the more comfortable to sit on or to use it as a footrest at the couch. It's great.
No, I need this. I need this because, like, I will never get rid of my scraps. And if when I'm going through the bags, I'm like, oh, I remember that project. Oh, I remember this mistake. Why did I buy this fabric? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And then I went through and pulled out a whole bunch of big scraps for my quilted house coat that I'm making, or you can. So they're still there for when you want to do your quilted crazy projects with it. It's just
I did fall in love with my
slightly more
coat.
functional.
I know. The problem is too though is that I can easily just go to my job and go hide it up in the loft the
No,
loft
you
is
do.
literally mine.
No, 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 no. You're done
My
making
job.
excuses and shifting your burden of junk.
Because I tried, I tried to put my stuff in a shipping container, but I didn't like the conditions of the shipping container. But the door was broken on it. It wasn't the whole idea of the shipping container. It was the fact that the door was broken on it, and I still haven't fixed it.
I'm hearing a lot of excuses.
It's justification. They're on they're same boat, different cabin.
Fair.
Oh,
I
this is
love.
beautiful.
I need to figure out where to put this machine in the other room, because I had her sitting on my bureau where all my clothes are. But I didn't know where to put the computer to stream. I just love sewing with this machine. She's so quiet.
I kind of had that dilemma today. I almost clicked in from the closet, but I don't smoke in my house
Mm-hmm.
out of courtesy to my child.
Right. Which is a
And
good move.
and because this room, like myself, is detached, I can legally get smoke-a-palooza in here. Because in the state of California, you're not allowed to even smoke in your garage if it's attached to your house.
If you own it, it does it. Whatever. But let's see here, Pam. Time to just get a storage shed in the backyard instead of paying for a storage unit. I think he might need like 5. Your kids would probably really love it if I made the poof. It is so much fun.
My ex-wife's stepdad, he got one of those real tough sheds. If I
Mm-hmm.
get one of those, I'm gonna go live in it in my backyard. It's a huge, and it's not, it's wide, but it's tall because it's on a pad in a regular backyard. Their backyard is tiny compared to mine, but it's 2-story.
Oh, interesting.
I looked at Roy. I was like, dude, I could live in here. And he looked at me. He's like, I know, I tried, but they won't let me.
Yeah, I might need like a place to toilet and wash my hands.
Well, men are feral, you know.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know. I
And
too wish
so
many times
I
that I
wanna,
could write my name with Wiz in the snow. But
I want a tough shed, like, and like the ones they have on TV. I was so shocked on how well built it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see them in Home Depot in the parking lot, and they don't look good, or Lowe's or wherever they are.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, I agree. Who said it was that Pam? I agree with you, Pam. I do need a shed. I'm thinking about moving though.
Then
Like,
you
and I've been
have
talking
time to
about
go
it for.
through. You have been time to go through the storage unit then, because you can't leave without. You're not allowed to continue paying for a storage unit if you can't drive to your storage unit in a reasonable time.
My mom actually said that too. She's like, "You really gonna take all that shiest with you? I dare you." She's like, "I dare you," because she knows I'm gonna. Well, a lot of it, I have to go through and see what the condition of it after 4 years of sitting in a box.
Right. So you need to get started.
The cool thing about my storage unit is that there's no more room, so I stopped going there and adding stuff.
Well, that was a plus, but
There's like I had to take stuff out because it was coming up against the door.
they called you and said your space is overflowing.
Well, I couldn't open up my own door, and so I knew there was a problem.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable indicator. Oh, bad time to move right now. Not a good market for that. No, it's not. Prices are stupid and mortgages are crazy and
That's why I'm just like blah, because I want like okay. The real plan is I was gonna move, not necessarily out of California, but I was gonna move somewhere on the super outskirts
mhm.
before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I sat at home, got depressed, and gained 50 pounds. And 3 years later, I'm still sitting in the same house with 30 of it still. I lost a solid 20 of it.
Well, that's good. That was a good start.
Probably 25. I didn't eat breakfast this morning. I had to go to work.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh. Hey, creepy coobies. Okay, second.
Oh my god, the sewing, that is a problem. And you know what? Like all people say, like I was a hoarder, and then my grandmother passed away, and I got all of my grandfather's and grandmother's stuff, and I put it in that storage unit. Then my father passed away, and I got all of his equipment, and I'm officially a hoarder. I am officially a real like the fact that like see, but the thing is I keep it out of my house because I have a giant shop. I have mommy boss, so no one's gonna say anything to me. No one's gonna say anything to me if I take over racks. And plus, my job is shifting. We're going in different directions, and so we're not necessarily as industrial as we used to be. So we have space. And so because of that, like it feeds into my
Yeah,
hoarding habit.
yeah. You're
I don't
just
buy
to not sit for not success.
I quit buying black t-shirts though. Like cleaning out my
Well, that's
closet exposed me. I have over 500 black t-shirts after giving away like 300 a year ago.
yeah. That's like 495 too many.
But I have the greatest black t-shirt collection of all time though.
Yeah, I know. Prices did skyrocket after COVID, and ugh, I don't know.
And I live in a good area. Regardless of me not getting along with my neighbor across the street, I still get along with everybody else. The fact is, I I no longer reflect the value of my hometown. It's just, it's a lot of factors, and LA is becoming unaffordable. I want like because of my lung issues, if I do pass away or something, I want my son to live somewhere where he can actually live a life and thrive and like have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my beef. But it's unaffordable here. I don't even know. Like if it wasn't for my predecessors, I wouldn't be sitting in this house.
Right.
I don't know how people can do it anymore.
They don't.
I am a collector of things. Hoarding is an irrational savings of items, even trash. I don't think you are a hoarder. This show is not set in reality of what hoarding is. That show, you're right. I am being
Right.
a
I would
bit.
just I enjoy. I'm a maximalist.
Yeah, I like that. That's a T-shirt. I like that. I am a maximalist. And I think that's part of my. And you know what? I am man enough to admit I'm overcompensating for issue to yet be named. I don't
Right.
even know what I'm over or under compensating for. Like, I'm man enough to admit it. But
Right.
my dad was a shopper. My grandfather would take me to Sears. Like, half of that stuff, I was there when he bought that stuff in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too. Like, I know I can reflect, at least from my experiences, that my grandparents on both sides, whether the one that were in this country during the Depression and literally having nothing, or the ones who were in Poland and had the plight of being Jews in Poland during World War II and literally losing everything and having nothing, that they were also maximalist, but they were also impeccably tidy
Yep.
folks. And I
And
have a
like
too
Pam,
tidy sometimes.
I don't hoard trash. That I learned that from my dad. My dad was a hoarder, but if something didn't work, he would put it in the tractor and take it straight to the dumpster.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So, and that's why, like, all my sewing machines in here work. The Trail of Tears on my toolbox is over here. I'm still working on every single one of those, but they will work one day. On the opposite end, when I open my garage, it is a graveyard of non-op sewing machines, or like just that, like something or something that's irreplaceable will pop off, like a Bel Air or something, you know.
Hmm.
And my sad collection of Kenmores too. I wonder what people think when they walk past my house with my garage is open, because they can't see me because they don't know there's a whole studio of beautiful stuff in here. They just think I'm probably
Right,
have
they just see
walls.
the weirdest stuff. Yeah.
They just see my toolboxes and they're like, "Oh man, I bet that guy has wall to wall stuff in there." When actually I can do the Watusi. I have a grandma chair in here. This is actually a giant room in here. But that's my problem too. I don't care what people think. I keep the front of my house beautiful because in my neighborhood, it's all about keeping up with appearances.
Hmm.
You know, and I scared Waterday the other day because I told her I needed a dumpster. But the truth is, I have to cut my tree. It's getting huge.
Right.
My fruitless mulberry is like, I skipped it. I skipped a couple years.
Right. Now she's letting you know, don't do this to me.
And Odin lives under a certain side. So what I did is I completely cut one side, but now the side that Odin, like, there's a shed and the tree goes on top of the shed, and Odin hangs out there.
Uh,
And so I've been not cutting it, but now it's over. It's like my secret garden back there.
I love my secret rose garden.
So I'm gonna have to, and the gardeners, whenever I bring any of the gardeners back there, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it for $900," and I'm like, "Oh, I can do it for free with my child."
Right. Get him some exercise, learn him how to do something, and
He's smart though, because he's like, "Oh, if the gardener is getting 900, can I get this and this?" And I'm like, "I'll give you half a half of a
smart girl.
half."
Right.
But I want him to learn about money, the value of money too, though.
All right. Let's see here. Don't want to get up off the chair.
Oh, thank you, Pam. It is an impressive collection. That is awesome. I love the froof and the ploof.
Right, and we've only just begun.
We're all about the floof. I'm all about the floofiness.
Now, I wonder if I might put some tucks into this at the elbow, though, because I don't love sleeves that cover my hands this much, but we'll figure it out. This is such a hot schmata. Oh my god. It's like plastic moire. It probably is an impressive collection of. Oh, your 6-year-old was super helpful helping me clean up and take stuff to the trash. Oh, good job, Pam, getting your kids to be helpful and industrious.
I do. When I redid the living room, I put a mask on my son. I was like, "We're gonna mask off the living room, and we're gonna use a paint gun. We're gonna scrape the popcorn off the ceiling." He helps me.
Whoa, good job.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's in my parents were slave drivers, so I try to find that medium between like, no, you need to learn value in life,
Yeah, right.
and like not just using your child as a concierge. Because my
Yeah,
parents were like, "Oh no, you are mine. You work here. You're a born employee."
exactly. You get room and board, but that means you actually have to do stuff.
Like when in the fountain in the backyard, people are like, "Oh, that's such a great fountain." I was 11 years old when I built that with concrete and shapes. But the truth is, my father taught me a skill that I like went and got a certification for instantly because I had the skill.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
funny
we
that
need to
way.
get back to valuing skilled trades because it's going to be a problem.
I always getting my welding cert changed my life because then I could charge crazy prices for a 30-minute job
Mm-hmm.
because I have a license.
Right. License to weld.
I went and got my general, and that changed my life because then I could do anything. But then I just became a painter. But with a general license, people pay you to use their license, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole school behind that where you're not supposed to do that because if someone gets hurt, you're liable.
Right. Let's see here, Pam. You remember scraping the popcorn off the ceiling? Oh my gosh. Hopefully there was no asbestos in there.
We'll know in the long run with me.
Right. Too early to tell.
I was just trying to modern up my house, and you know what? It's all when so there like for no one was moving on this block. And then there was a neighbor who owned the house. We had no there was like this squatter guy. He was just this guy that would hang out there all the time. We had no idea he was like loosely related to the owner, and he was like some 50-year-old guy who just would puff and hang out. When the
Okay.
owner died, they kicked everyone out and they redid the house. And then they sold that house for $1 million something dollars.
Mm.
That weekend, when we found out the price, I was at Lowe's. I saw 3 neighbors. Every single one of us were fixing up our houses because we're like, "Oh no, strike when the iron's hot."
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing about our property that I live in being up on the market again. Because they tried to sell it before COVID at the very beginning, something for so bought it 800 cash 6 or 7 oh a hot minute ago, a number of years. Minimal updates, like next to nothing has been improved. Tried to sell it a few years ago for 1 million.
Oh
Couldn't
wow.
sell it. So now it's on the market for 2 million.
They're hoping a Californian will come and buy it.
I think so. I know. And the funniest thing is that it's across the street from Section 8 HUD housing and the corner store that sells crack pipes and meth pipes. It's like, what do you think?
But to be fair, I live in the burbs, and the corner store by my house, by next to Vaughn, sells the same stuff.
Yeah,
Sells the same stuff. Like when I lived in LA, that stuff was everywhere, and I laughed when I walked in the head shop by my house and they were selling it.
yeah. I know, because the glass is crappy. People break them, and they're reliable customers, which feels uncomfortable to say.
Oh gosh, we found. I'll never forget my mom. They found one at my job, and my mom walked up to me. She's like, "What's this?" I was like, "Don't touch that! Get it out of your hands!
That might have Hep C.
What are you doing?" I literally sat down all the older people and like, "Okay, we need rules. You do not touch this. If you see this, you call the freaking hazmat."
Right?
Like,
Or at least wear gloves.
oh, that was a day. Oh, that was a day. I forgot about. If I ever do have a heart attack, it's gonna be something a relative did.
Oh, I'm glad you wore a mask for that operation, Pam.
I like, that will age you if you don't wear a mask for stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. I keep having these talks with gentlemen who do construction or machining stuff, and I'm like, or do you wear ear protection? And they're always like, no. I'm like, why do you want to be deaf?
Yep.
Like, you have a choice, and you're not. I mean,
So science will always prove that, right? My father was in the Navy when they had giant diesel motors. He was an engineer, and he would always tell me, "Yeah, I would sleep next to the motors. I'd hang out down there." He was deaf by the time he was 55. Like he was hard of hearing. He was literally hard of hearing, and he
I know.
ignored
I
us.
right. Well, I think that's also why I love this sewing machine because I worry about being at the electric machines if they're going to do the same thing. I'm like, do I need to? Should I be wearing hearing protection if I'm at a machine for more than 2 hours at a stint?
So they do that in sweatshops.
Yeah,
They do that. Well,
makes
but
sense.
that's more or less because you're sitting in a room of a symphony of machines,
Right.
and that is deafening. I've walked into a active sweatshop. That was back in my more brave days, and they, with 30 sewing machines going, that is deafening.
Yeah.
You get 40, 50 going at once, like especially with the big brothers and the jukies. It's da 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 da. It's deafening in there, and it was so long ago. Everybody had um what are those things? I can't even remember what they're called. They were
Did everybody get
oh
a Walkman with a headset, a
yeah,
cassette?
but they were the digital version of that. The Apple, the first
Oh,
version.
an iPod.
It's been
It's
so
a,
long I forgot about the iPod.
that's fair.
It was like early like 2000. It was right before I moved to Oregon.
Yeah.
I would walk around like LA is crazy because the infrastructure hasn't changed even from now and then. And like there would be an open door. I would just walk in the building. I'm not that brave anymore.
Fair. What am I
But
gonna?
I've walked in like beautiful theaters. Like the door and the outside is all like trashed, and then you walk inside and it's a cathedral.
Yeah.
LA's crazy like that because they still have a lot of the original theaters from the 30s, 40s, and 50s in there.
I miss performing in those old opera house theaters. They were so much fun. I hope I
Even I haven't been to Disney Hall since. Oh no, I've been once since COVID. I took my son because I'm like, you need some culture. You're older now. You can remember this.
yeah.
When he was younger, he'd fall asleep.
Yeah.
And plus, like some shows start at 7 o'clock. And when you're a kid.
Right, that's bedtime. I
I
just
tried.
find
I was
it
trying to.
so uncomfortable that I fall asleep.
I was trying to give him some culture.
Right, he can't just play on an Oculus and
No, that's why. Like, that's why I even took him downtown. I wanted him to see because he's been downtown, but he's only been to like Alvaro Street, the tourist area, and Alvaro Street and Chinatown are within walking distance of each other.
yeah.
So in Chinatown is super touristy. They sell like all the stereotypical stuff. Well, that and you can get a giant koi fish too, which is
I was gonna say,
illegal.
and there's food.
Oh man, some of the best in the world. But I'm biased because I'm from here. Like I used to think San Francisco had the best food in the world, but all their restaurants closed.
Right, yeah.
But
That's
LA still
the
has
one
a
I
thriving.
enjoy putting in my mouth.
It's just we have extremely exotic food here in LA. Like you extremely. I would have never known about Armenian food if I hadn't walked past a restaurant one day and I was like, "Ah, I'll give it a try."
Right.
And I fell in love. Okay, which side did I sew this on?
I know, I'm like, did I start this at the right spot? No, that's the front of the sleeve.
I weirdly did a figure like a half figure eight because I'm super ADD and not paying attention. That was weird. Oh, that's funny. All right, so I'll just come up from this side. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, I'm just gonna see how far this strip gets me. If not, I'll just add more lace to the bottom, because I'm sure I could find enough somewhere.
Oh, excuse me. I wonder if hands. I'm like, I have delusions of grandeur right now. I'm like, should make some fried chicken or something.
Ooh.
But hands is better at making it than I am.
Oh no!
I'll wait for him and then bribe him.
Will you cook for me? I'm hungry.
When I'm like by myself, I lose motivation to cook. When the kid's here, I'm like, all right, we're gonna have a 3-course meal, and it's okay if you eat kale. I won't eat it.
Shh. Gotta get your vegetables in.
I eat lots of carrots. I'm obsessed with apples, oranges. I'm back to my lemonade and pineapple. I make huegos, which in Spanish is juice,
Mm-hmm.
and I make this pineapple and lemon juice, and I'm obsessed with it. But it's really just a ton of vitamin C.
I'm gonna say, and it just sounds like those fruits are so sugary that if you're just taking all the pulp out, you're getting just like a bolus of sugar.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. And speaking of which, I put like I put like 2 or 3 pounds of sugar in there.
Gross. It just sounds disgusting. It
It's
sounded
the
good.
Wagos.
Made it
You
gross.
never had like horchata and all that? Like
I have.
in other countries, like juicing is a delicacy. In America, it's just another way to get the beaties.
Yeah. I prefer like the aqua fresca where it's all the blended water, the whole fruits in there. Is that what I'm thinking of? Or am I...
That's what I do. I literally have a whole pineapple and a bag of lemons. But the thing is, they only last for 48 to 52 hours. So
Right,
you
because
got
then you start to ferment it, and you're like, I'm either making vinegar or alcohol now.
booze. You're making booze at that point.
Ah,
So it only has. I give it like 2 days and then it's gone. I don't even check it on the second day. I chuck it.
right. Oh, Allie, I know we've learned. Yes, Allie used to live in Germany for a bit. Every time I watched the Munich Oktober Fest opening was really good this year. They had it closer and live yesterday. Ooh, and the clothes were nice to see. I know I've been thinking about not really a dirndl, but a curdle.
Oh man,
Oh,
I can't
those
believe I've sewn these on. I
people are
actually
trying to
did.
look for food in my kitchen.
Sorry. I'm actually. I didn't think I was gonna get anything done today, and I actually have been wanting to do this for a while. Put
I
the.
know that's why we called it UFOs. We're like, what's unfinished that needs a little attention? Because
I totally got that from Rowan. And I got defluffing from she's Australian. I keep on forgetting her name and I'm subscribed to her.
that seems legit. That's the who makes the handbags.
She dresses like a flapper. She recently had a video about how she got cancer.
Oh, the vintage sewing school.
Yes.
Yes, I know. She either has a really great wig or has kept her hair because yeah, she looks well. I mean, she looks good in her videos. Hopefully, she is well. Nobody
Booze
wears
is okay.
right.
I'm not a drinker, Alibaba. In no way am I condemning anyone. I do not drink alcohol, and that's because I quit drinking 12, almost 13 years ago when my son started. When it was just me and my son, I had somebody had to be. I had to do the responsible adult thing.
Right. Yep, if you gotta be awake when they start vomiting in the middle of the night and you can't be the one vomiting with them, you got it.
You have to be able to drive them to the hospital if needed.
Right.
Adult stuff.
Yeah. Parenting adult stuff. Oh, I have extra, but I don't have. Hmm. I'm not gonna have enough to go around the whole bottom of this. I'll add lace instead. And then I'll figure out what to do with this little extra bit.
I really was sewing this like a bowl of spaghetti. I had to look in the back and see but I have no pattern on this, but now I finally know where I'm at. I'm almost done.
KK.
In my robe. I love this. This is a Pendleton robe. It was my grandfather's, and this thing is older than I am. Speaking of which, I watched the Pendleton Roundup as well.
Ah, the rodeo.
Yeah, you know what's so funny? It looks so humongous in person. When I watched it on TV, I was like, it looks tiny. But when I went there, it was like it was huge. And just like the Sturgis video, when they're like, "Oh, are people of color welcome there?" Yes, they are. I saw quite a few black dudes there on TV. They had one right behind the camera. I want his hat now. He had this awesome beige cowboy hat, and I was like, you know what? I'll rock that. I'd rock that.
The color's just dissimilar enough.
Well, this like they're all like I ruin my cowboy hats because I wear them. But suede after a while, like when you first get a hat, it's beautiful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wear it every day, like I do, they start getting trashed. Like it is legitimately time for a new hat for me.
Let's see how far this is going to get.
But I'm so used to my cowboy hat now that it's like
I know too, but I have to break in a new hat.
and it's a process to break in a new hat. And you look like a goofus when you first put it on.
Nope, I'm not going to cross my fingers, but I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to line up to see if I've got enough to go across the bottom.
Awesome.
I don't feel like I do, but there's only one way to find out. Slowly go around the bottom. Oh, I don't like when the smoke comes in. Everything makes me itch right now.
That like heavy smoke like that gives me headaches.
Yeah.
Did I go all the way around, huh?
I'm asking myself the same question right now, but differently.
Now I gotta check my sewing. Wow.
Okay.
Let me cut this.
I know this is very thrilling content watching.
I do the same thing on my streams. I have nothing. You don't have anything nice to say. Don't say anything at all.
Right, exactly.
Because I could get out here and say some really awful stuff, but there's no point, you know.
Right.
Sitting on. Oh, I'm just sitting on what's left of this giant robe. Beautiful.
Oh, super sweet. Nice.
I like it. I like it. I almost want to get back and go get more flowers, but that's just me looking for an excuse to go downtown.
Right. You don't need more excuses.
No, I'm gonna cool my jets for a while. Like I have a sequin patch. I have all kinds of crazy fancy stuff, you know?
Right. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Let me consult the...
Thank you, Alibaba. Thank you.
Let me put this on and I need... Then I can find the words for my question.
You have like where you are. You have the perfect angle to model stuff because you can walk backwards. You know.
Oh, I'm pricking myself with pins. Do I want this ruffle to be at the front and the neckline, or at the bottom? I can do one or the other. I don't think I can do both. I want it. I kind of want to just leave it where it is because I've already pinned it and then put lace at the bottom. But that's not really asking an opinion. That's like being like, you can say
Let me know when you want an answer.
Anyway, because
That looks good. That looks really
all right,
good.
I'll solicit. What do other people think?
I like the floof. It looks really good.
Thanks. Let's start sewing the sleeves down.
Ugh.
It's like poking myself with pins right now. I think I like pricked my neck. Oh, okay, good. No, I'm not blood. There's no bloodshed yet. The neckline, perfect. Good answer, Allie. Good answer.
It looks great. It does. It looks absolutely great.
Thank you. Yeah, you make practical clothes. I make these weird impractical things, but I'm like, I'm just gonna dress however. Oh my gosh, so I've got Sally. My dress form is in a Christmas tree stand, and I keep looking over, thinking it's a cat, and then I'm doing a double take, and it's been what, almost 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Needed at the neckline. I think so too.
I have
It
a
just needs the front
mannequin.
opening something.
I have a sitting mannequin that I put in my living room. I know it exists, and every time I turn the corner, I kind of jump.
Right.
I can know it's there, and I'm still like, huh.
Exactly. Like it's been there for years, and I still scare the poop out of myself.
Usually it's in the closet, but my closet's looking really good right now, so I'm not going to put the mannequin in yet.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe I'll see if I have enough to do a double layer around the neck. That's okay.
Oh, and I found my bag of flags that I have left. I have China, Vietnam, and like 2 or 3 Japanese rising sun flags. I'll show them off tomorrow when I find my bag. I have to find the bag.
Yeah.
I've been doing so much cleaning that I'm like re-hiding stuff because I'll find something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot this exists.
Right, and then you just move it, and you're like, oh, I put it somewhere. Where did I put that?
Ugh. It's literally hidden again.
I had to shove so much stuff in the closet to like make it look nice for when a gajillion people. What did it end up being? The property owner, the property management person, the realtor, the property owner's wife, the photographer were all traipsing around my house, and I was like, I'm so glad I wasn't home for that, but I still have 3 bolts of roll. It's not bolts; they're rolls of silk under my bed because I needed to hide them.
I'm like, that's one of the reasons, like even that that lining material I bought, I really when I put it on that denim coat, I'm glad I did because how do you store silk? Could I leave silk in my garage?
I know it should be in a temperature controlled
That's what I
place
thought.
because I haven't had any issue with the moths eating it because they like the wool, but like if you've got Odin, so the rodents might, but I wouldn't, especially if it's nice silk. No, there's all silk is nice. Do not leave silk in the garage.
Because I know a place where I can get affordable silk, faux silk, wannabe silk, milk, filk, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, plastic.
But like with the lining stuff, it reminded me of every coat I've ever had. It was that material.
Yeah, that like
Whereas,
rayon stuff.
exactly. More polyester-ish, rayon, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, we're going
I'm
strong
yawning.
today.
I'm yawning, but I'm gonna literally be up all night, you know.
I hate when that happens.
Oh. Well, I'm waiting for young Mr. Song, and when he does show up, I have to do my dad stuff, make sure I have all of his stuff ready, and by the time that's done, I'm like
Right, you get
last week,
second wind.
I sat on the couch and I'm like, all right, I finally have time to pass out. I sat there and watched TV for 3 hours instead of sleeping, and I'm like, this is not working. I'm just watching a movie I've seen a gajillion times on cable, and even like now, because there's this mass exodus from Spectrum. They've given me a bunch of premium channels. It's just movies I kind of wanted to see. or movies that came out a year or two ago, you know.
Right.
They're really kissing my butt because I'm trying to cut the cord completely.
You just need to. Well, you still need somebody for your internet. That's the. Yeah.
And like, but I lost it when they basically like my internet was so weak it wouldn't let me in StreamYards. And
Yeah.
Waternay and Skits had to save my that stream. I came back the next day because it was such a bad stream.
Oh.
I was so mad at my cable provider.
Yeah, I use the city one because they offer Spectrum here. I'm like, I just hear everybody complain about it so much. I'm like, no, not interested.
I don't, I'm sure it's different everywhere. Is they cannot provide a consistent signal here, and like StreamYards, it has the meter on it where it lets you know what your signal is, and it's
Yeah.
constantly telling me how weak my signal is.
Mm-hmm.
And like I pay for premium internet that I'm not. I have a top tier box. I have boosters. I have all this stuff that just flat out doesn't work.
Yeah. That is not helpful.
And in the end, you end up giving a ton of money to these companies, and so they can buy football stadiums and not have employees.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. I've said that like 5 times in a row. I miss fiber optic that was underground versus through the air, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm completely exhausted, Pam. I'm burnt out. I couldn't sleep last night at all. I only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. That's why I'm sitting here in my bathrobe because I was like, I quit for the day. That's why I'm really surprised I even got this far because
That's so funny because I took the. Oh, I'm interrupting Cow in my own show. Finish up and then I'll talk.
No, it's okay. I'm yawning and tearing up. I'm so tired.
Right. And I took the time to even like get dressed. I actually put some makeup on today. Like, oh. And I got
Last night.
6 pairs of new reading glasses in the same
Awesome.
style.
I need to get new glasses. And then last night there was a skunk that got trapped under the fence, and it stunk so bad. Like my eyes were watering. My throat was irritated because the skunk was right outside my garage door where it sprayed my fence.
I know our friend tried to convince us to go visit last night, and I was like, no, I need to be where I get to have the shortest walk to my bed tonight. Go over there because of the puppers. I'm like, no, you can't make me. But tonight I'm probably going to get roped into going over. So.
I'm trying to stop buying pizzas too, though.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Well, it's because I've turned into it's just it's the convenience of it. Like when Isaiah was younger, I would take him through drive-throughs just because of the convenience, and I do it to myself now.
Yeah. That's just not the food I eat generally. Once in a blue moon, but don't eat like that.
I'm a carb addict. Like I think it's I like the MSG and all the fast food. I don't know what it is.
You know what? I have a whole bag of MSG at my house, so we don't need to leave the house for MSG. Thank you for my faux Regency hair.
Isaiah bought this. Like he thought it said popcorn topper. Man, it had MSG in it. It was so good. I went looking for it one day. I'm like, what happened to it? He's like, dude, I threw that in the trash. Do you know what? He's like, that stuff was bad for you. And I'm like, I'll be the one that makes those decisions.
Right, MSG is not bad for you. It makes food taste better, and it makes you thirsty, and drinking water is good.
I'm addicted to movie theater popcorn. I will.
Sometimes you have to go to the movie theater.
My movie theater will let you buy the popcorn and leave. Because the popcorn's $15. Like they're like, well, you want to spend the money? It's even just as much or more than a ticket.
Yeah, that's cray cray. I know you're gonna have to start making your pizzas at home
Oh, that's true. I was thinking about
because you
starting
can
making.
just buy a lot of the pizza places will let you buy dough, and you just need to bake it.
There was a place up north like that in Stockton. And there's a place in Arizona like that too. It was an actual chain. You'd go there and they would give you all the ingredients and you'd
Mhm.
pick it up. I doubt they lasted long. This was 20 years ago.
It almost sounds like Papa John's, where you just pick up the pre-made pizza and pop it in your own oven.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, that's their whole business model. I don't think they cook their own pizzas. You just buy them uncooked.
Papa John's delivers here.
So maybe I don't know what. Never don't quote me on everything.
It might be a box pizza named that, but we have a Papa John's pizza here. They have that stupid commercial with Peyton Manning. I've been looking at recipes for pizza's crust. I am obsessed with bread. So I think I have no problem whatsoever with making my own pizza.
Yeah, it's just yeast. It's um yeast and a little honey and flour and water and do I have a recipe that I used? I'm sure I've got one floating around somewhere. Oh, that might have even been gluten free.
Oh, so I have beef with gluten free, like because I do not have those allergies. Like one time, I mistakenly got gluten free Oreos, and they had no taste.
Well, yeah, the store bought gluten free stuff is like really asking to make people have diabetes because they have to have so much sugar to it, or else it tastes like nasty cardboard.
But I've also been to like vegan restaurants, and they make really good food.
Right, you can make vegetables taste good. The thing that boggles my mind are like the vegans and vegetarians who have to need all their like fake meat, faux stuff. Like if you need faux turkey bacon or whatever, then
You're still a meat eater.
just yeah, just I don't get it.
I I told you about Isaiah's phase. To me, that laboratory stuff, I won't say what it smells like because it's kind of vulgar, but it doesn't smell right. It was so bad that every time I would cook it on my barbecue, I would completely clean my grill, like literally take it off and like put it in the washing machine because it smelled so bad. Like
Yeah,
it's
the fake
gross.
mushroom one is gross too. It
Oh,
is the type. Yeah, the types of flowers you put in it make a difference.
it has a very like that faux meat has a very distinct taste. Even the one, oh gosh, there was another time Isaiah ordered at Carl's Jr. He ordered the combo. The combo alone was $15.
Oh my god.
And then like you get it in the car and it smells different.
Mm.
When they perfect that stuff, I'll be there. But
No,
until
I'm
then,
not. It's gonna take so many. Why grow? It's so the amount of resources. It's this is all these like fake lab grown meats is the same debate as electric vehicles versus gas and diesel.
I know I'm old, but back in the day, Subway used to have a vegetable patty. That thing was amazing. It was just pressed vegetables.
Right.
Like that would I would eat that. I would eat that with no meat. Like I would eat that with some ranch, and I'm hungry now. But like I think I like what you said about like people who are trying to imitate. Like if you're not a meat eater, don't be a meat eater.
Right. Exactly.
I'm addicted to
That's,
Jimmy Dean's sausage. Like I would be a terrible vegetarian.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with. Yeah, I'd rather just eat the real thing.
Even downtown, all the carts and they everything's changed. They all have like the grades from the city.
Mm, no thanks. Oh, now I want to go to the taco truck. Oh my god, I'm getting hungry. Shoot.
I know I'm gonna call Marquette and see what part of town are you at.
Right.
I've still never had Chick-fil-A, and it's not even political. It's just because it's right by the mall in the center of my town, and I don't go in that direction ever, ever. It's literally in the center of my town.
Yeah, they don't even have one in my town, but we only have. There's too many Starbucks, a Wendy's, and I think they might have a new Burger King, but the last Burger King like literally burned down in the fire.
I know what Burger King you're talking about.
Yeah, that
Oh
that
my
burned.
god, I know exactly because my friend told me the same story. I know exactly. She has the same reference.
Well, because when there's only like literally three fast food joints. Oh, and
I've
then the
been
Papa John's. But
I've been to the Carl's Jr. there. I've been to the Iron Skillet off the freeway multiple times.
that burger, I want. Oh my gosh, they're French fries, but I think they must have had like the Orida like frozen French fries. That was the only thing that was like, yeah. But that freaking cheeseburger.
Chick-fil-A is expensive. See, I didn't know that. Um, Everybody hates Arby's. I'm addicted to Arby's. My Arby's starts at $17.
Oh
They're
my god, I just
crazy.
want the horsey sauce, please. Just hook me up with a vat of horsey sauce.
Like where I'm from, if you see someone sitting in the Arby's dining room, they're rich because they can afford to eat there. I had no idea Chick-fil-A was expensive.
I know, I've never eaten there.
And I'm not even into the like there's a lot of drama behind it. I've told the story. My mom is hardcore Catholic. She goes to church every Sunday. She went there with a cane. They were praying over her, and she calls me and she's like, "Those weirdos at Chick-fil-A were praying over me."
The
Catholics don't do
P-R-E-Y,
that.
not the P-R-E-Y kind.
They just, you know why? Because Catholics are like, they'll say, "I hope the best for you." You know, they won't like, evangelical Christians are a little bit more open.
They're a little different, yeah.
I'll never forget that phone call. She was like, "I don't know if that chicken sandwich was worth it." When I pulled my
Comfort.
people do treat you differently though. When I pulled my coccyx, I legitimately needed a cane, and people do treat you differently.
Oh my god, Pam, $75 for a family of five. That is
Exactly.
extortion. Highway robbery.
And like around here, if I'm paying that much, I want to sit down.
Yes. I want a
I want.
waiter and a real water glass.
That's why I do the math with my son. I'm like, we could go to this place. I'm addicted to this place called Wood Ranch. It's just bougie barbecue. There's one in every town, at least on the West Coast, and they have the same price as McDonald's. Their food starts at 15, $16. McDonald's is in California. McDonald's is that much.
Yeah.
That's not even with drinks or a tip either. Good gravy. I guess I'm not moving to Utah. No, because in my mind, I'm a desert dweller, so I need to live somewhere warm, and kind of want to move to Nevada.
Only parts of Nevada are warm though.
I can deal with snow. I can deal with dual weather. I have jackets. I lived in Oregon for years.
Yeah,
In northern Oregon,
that part is not desert.
almost Washington. Portland's weird because you can get in a car and be in Vancouver real quick. Vancouver, Washington, that is.
Right, right. You just drive over the bridge.
Yeah, I had to make that distinction.
Right, because there's a whole other state between Vancouver, BC, and Orthopedics.
Well, like in America, we're very similar. There's how many Lafayettes are there in America?
A gajillion. We're not very creative in our invention for naming things.
I dare you to not find a Lafayette in every single state. That's wild, Pam. Absolutely, I agree. That is wild. That's even when I took I get about to call my little guy. Oh, when I took Isaiah to IHOP the other day, it was like almost a 50 spot.
Oh my god, wait, I ate there for the first time in a gajillion years and it was so gross. I was like, why did we eat food here? It was terrible. Sorry.
Northern Utah gets cold. Southern Utah not so cold, not so bad. Okay, good to know. I'm okay with weather. Like I was gonna actually move in that area until COVID. If someone I know moved to, I don't even want to say the town. It's somewhere. Oh, excuse me. I have indigestion. Somewhere in southern Utah, though.
Crinkety crinkety. Wow, this. I'm gonna have to stretch after this. Everything hurts right now. I'm all grouchy.
I know. I'm gonna make Do you know these streams make me want pancakes because it always goes back to breakfast with me. It always. Even the other day when I was at my greasy spoon, I asked the guy an honest question. I was like, "Which one's better, pancake or a waffle?" And they were like, "Pancakes are more filling. A waffle is just a giant waffle."
Poofed air, yeah.
Because I like the combination. Sorry.
I like me a Belgian waffle every once in a blue moon, though.
I have a waffle maker. I like the combination of chicken and waffles. Like, I love that combination.
Oh my god.
But they sell it in my town. They sell it, but they don't give proper portions. Like, I don't look like it, but I'm a bigger dude. Like, I need a proper amount of food.
Don't skimp out.
Well, in California, also everywhere there's a law where they have to have the calories next to everything.
I like when they do that because it helps me decide what I'm going to eat. I don't like it when, I heard about this last year that at some university they were like, we're not going to put the calorie count on the menus because we think it's fat phobic or whatever. And I'm like, how can you make an informed choice if you don't have the information? It's just,
I'm not gonna order my burger unless it has 1,200 calories in it.
That's right. Now you said, I was like, maybe I'll pick a different one.
I want my burger to be like, and it comes with a defibrillator.
Right.
I told you there's I don't know if you have it, but there's a place by my house called Claim Jumper. They have a burger called the Widowmaker.
Oh no.
It's onion rings, cheese, 3 patties, it's bacon, coleslaw. You could move to northern Utah and be my neighbor. I would love to. I would love to be your neighbor, Pam. I'm thinking about it. I want to go, like, I'm middle class here. I would be semi upper somewhere.
You're picking up a dinner tab.
No, but America's expensive though. It's not. See, and that's part of the California delusion where we think we can just move somewhere. It's going to be cheaper.
Right, because you guys inflate all the prices. You need to just stay home.
I'm going to tell people I'm from Arizona. You think I'm playing? I'm going to say I'm from Arizona.
No, I'm not. I
have proof.
Because people do not. You say you're from California. You gotta get your plates changed before you move because people see those and they're like, we don't like you.
The only real place where people really talk trash to me was in Oregon. And at Johnny B's one night, like even everybody was like, dude, are you freaking out? This one guy was freaking out on Californians, but the truth is I don't think he'd ever been around one. They were like, he's never left Southern Oregon before. or one that he knew about,
Right. Well, it's depending on where you are, you meet a lot of people from California because Siskiyou County's got nothing. They drive up over the border to go shopping where there's no sales tax.
Oh, you'd fit right in my neighborhood.
Aww.
I think about that because I also watch, I can't say it, Swisher Swag.
Oh, Saya Swag.
She lives in Utah, and it looks so beautiful where she lives. It looks so beautiful. It makes me want to. There's someone I went to high school with. He's a biker, and he constantly posts pictures of Utah, and he makes it look like the most beautiful place on earth, But he's just riding out in the middle of nowhere and finding these spots to take pictures.
Yeah, that makes it easier to post pretty pictures.
I just need to. I need to live somewhere that they have a town, so my son could like go work at the grocery store and function.
Right.
I would love to be your neighbor, Pam. My I grew up around Mormons most of my life anyways. I actually have a friend who is a chef at BYU, and I think he has either 13 or 14 kids, and we're the same age.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh. His dad I'm sorry, the basketball coach out here forever, and he was a cool guy. Grew up with
Mhm.
their parents were cool though. They never promoted anything. But
Yeah. Yep.
they have an army.
Right.
But he's the only he's the only person I know that has like just a ton of kids. Like he's the only one because I grew up around a lot of Mormon people, and they're just like everybody else. You know, they like I grew up super Catholic. I don't go to church anymore. You
Right.
know,
It's too expensive to have that many kids. You could. They,
I just and that's another thing. When I move somewhere, I just don't want it to be so political that people are like, because I literally live my life in peace, and I like to pose on my front lawn with
yeah.
with whatever I make. I have 6 kids. I'm 9 of 9, and my grandmother had. I don't know if she was the 13th, but she had 13 sisters and 1 brother.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's
Army. My
right. Yeah, if you're making your own football team.
and my grandmother, out of all her sisters, she died at 99 and she was the youngest. They all lived well into their hundreds. And my Aunt Teresa on the other side lived to be I believe like there's some lore in my family. They say 109, but I think it's like 107.
Close. It doesn't matter at that point. It does not matter.
Like, she loved baby. She loved kids. She was that aunt who they were like, "Oh, you have to line up," because Aunt Teresa would kiss all the kids.
Aww.
Oh yeah, man, I liked her. But she lived to be 100 and something. Let me see, number 6 of 13. That's a lot. That's a lot. But I come from a big family too, and like even I think about this all the time. Like in my town right now, I have probably 14 or 15 cousins that live here. In LA, I have probably 50 cousins, and in Arizona, at least 16 people in my family have moved to Arizona.
Yeah, my
Like
family's not that big.
I have a ginormous family. So I can't like to me it's weird when people like have like one aunt, one uncle or like
No, 0 cousins, 1 aunt. That's it.
man, around here in my town, when I flip people off, I'm like, I hope I didn't flip off a family member. They're gonna call me. They're gonna call me like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You having a bad day?
It's a good thing Grandma's dead.
Oh gosh, she
That's
was
funny, but
a purse. My grandma was a purse hitter, and she was little too, and she'd make you stand there.
yeah.
My grandma was Ruth Buzzy. I really like this. Let me put my music stand I used to sew on. Let me put it away. Oh,
Oh, perfect. Let's see here. Let's put this on while I go through and then decide which to put on the bottom. Oh, the ruffles in the front of this. Yeah, good call.
oh, that looks awesome. Oh, that looks really. I like that. That looks great.
Should I? Oh, here. Oh, nobody's. I'll wait, and then I'll put the. Oh no! Next week I'll grab the orange poofy skirt that coordinates with it. This is like poofy, poofies. these sleeve cuffs are so huge. I like have no hands. All right, let me get the basket of you.
Oh man. I'm definitely burnt out today. I promise, Scout's honor, I will be hopped up off of coffee and my usual any Energizer bunny self tomorrow.
That's right. There's nobody. People just have to show up and have fun at the circus. There's no expectations for anything because half the time I think I'm just a hot mess. So
I've been sewing so much lately and not sleeping. I need like the other day I told myself like sit down, sir. Sit down. Like you are exhausting.
right.
Sleeves seem too long to me, says Professor Alibaba of Canada.
Yes, I know. I was saying that to myself also. I think I'm going to put some tucks in or a little gathers so that I can have my hand. I concur. They are too long. So we'll just make it a reached detail. We'll just make it a feature instead of a problem.
I have a weird question. I have a fake fur lined sweatshirt. I don't want to go to waste.
Okay.
What can I line with it? But I'm gonna wear it I sleep in it, but it's starting to disintegrate.
Fake fur lined sweatshirt that you still want to use.
Let me see
Sounds
if I
like
can.
you need to just make it as a inner batting for a quilt or something.
And it's old, like it's old.
Doesn't look like. Oh, I can't read from this far distance. Let's
It
see.
doesn't look like your arms are like
Like,
them.
yeah, no, my arms are definitely not this long. Yeah. Do I want to
I'm
say
off on my own portion sometimes though, so don't feel bad. I'm off on my
they,
own portion.
oh, maybe I'll just do the gathering up at the top of the at the sleeve head. Not that there's actually a sleeve head because these are grown on sleeves. I'll figure something out. That's not terrible. I'll think of something. Why do I have it's just like I'm gonna make this thing and then we'll see what happens afterwards.
Good for you guys. Sorry, I'm watching somebody and he picked up his dog duty.
Oh, good job.
And people like the new neighbors do not know my entire house is wired, and I can just look at the screen and see everything that goes on in front of my house.
Right. I guess this is not long enough. I know, because I also need to replace. Did I say last week I put elastic into the tiered orange skirt that coordinates with this, and I should have put ties because elastic on 5 pounds of ruffles does not hold up very, does it all? It's going to ruin the elastic very quickly.
I am kind of like the neighborhood watch, but more in a rear window kind of way.
The curtain creeper kind of a way.
Well, I don't have to be a curtain creeper anymore because I have cameras that do that now.
That's true, right?
But let me tell you, if I hear a bump, I jump right up and look through my blinds. I make it obvious too because I got big fingers. So you see me peeping through the blinds.
Yeah, I'll just take a couple stitches on my shoulders.
I have so many ideas for all the things I should be doing now. That's one thing. It's good to take a day off so I can sit down and figure out what I'm going to do in the future, you know?
Right, I know.
I do not make sewing plans. I am impressed of people who, like, they come on and they say, I'm going to do this and this. I just start sewing. Like, I am addicted to, like, I watch a lot of sewing content and I watch Jen's sewing room. And she always comes on and she's like, these are going to be my makes for the month. And then she makes them. Like, I have to make them first and say, oh, this is what I've made, you know?
Right. I'm somewhere in the middle. I do plan stuff, but then sometimes I fly by the seat of my skirts.
And also because I'm a fabric lover, I'll see something and I'm like, I'll buy this and figure it out later.
Yeah.
like my weird caveman horse print where I'm like, I love this, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this
We'll figure it out later.
because we're almost the same color. I should make a pillow with it.
Oh,
I need new throw pillows for my couch.
wow. Right. Wow.
You know, should I just rewrap? I'm thinking about rewrapping just old pillows. Wouldn't it
Yeah,
seem
you can do
easy?
that. Yes.
Just pin it and sew it.
Yes.
I'm like having these like half awake ideas right now.
Half baked, half awake.
No, because there's no way I'm gonna chuck a throw pillow. I would have just ripped the stuffing out, but now that I think about it, I'm just gonna completely wrap it.
Yeah, because then you can keep it all intact and not have to deal with all the fluff everywhere and just.
That is true. I am anti I like to make a mess, but I also don't like to be messy.
There.
If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
It does. Oh, I know. I was gonna look for the looking through my tub of destruction.
I'm so stoked at all the patches I have. I should put this on my hardcore. I'm trying to be a tough guy vest. My sewing machine patch.
Yes, that would work. I I'm like stumped. Should we just call it early tonight if I'm like running around? I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm burnt out. I
You're
am
burnt out,
like
I think, and everybody's been so kind, and I'm kind of like in my like floundering phase right now, and I'd rather end and be in control rather than just try to like waffle around and not be funny anymore.
really quickly, that's what I do. That's why I've started going like for 3.5 and stop because after that, like I start just like rambling and like I like pancakes, I like turtles, I just start like
If that's
nonsensical.
something good, that's good. But if I'm just like trying to talk to fill up time, then that's not. I've got better things. I don't want to waste anybody else's time, and I've got other things I could do with my time.
Let me sit up for my shill. Hold on.
Yes.
Godless Sewing at the Godless Sewing channel. I'll be around tomorrow. Come and see me. Godless Sewing, Godless Sewing. I'll have a video out soon. I'm actually working on something right now. I am polishing up a short or two, and I'm always around. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, be there, be square.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out at this circus this day. Don't wait till tomorrow when you could be fabulous today, and don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself. All right, stay amazing. You are all great. All right, till next time.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.